your political theater to Texas.
This is not about political theater.
And it was more political theater than anything.
It's nothing more than pure political theater.
It's pure political theater.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. Welcome to Political Theater with Dr. T. I am your hostess with the mostest, Dr. T. You saw that big yawn, and it's because I am exhausted. You ever try to take a nap and you'd be like, okay, I'm going to take a nap for like 40 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes. And then you don't fall asleep till like 10 minutes before your alarm goes off? That's exactly what happened to me. And so, chat, we're going to try to make it through today. Maybe I'll get some energy. Maybe I'll get something. I don't even know. I love it. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here live. You know, it's so hard trying to promote the show, especially on a place like Threads where I have over 200,000 followers. I posted the link to this about 15 minutes ago. And if I look at it now, let me see. Oh, shit. 192 views, right? And that's because Meta suppresses external links, especially YouTube. They don't like you promoting links to other platforms on their platform. So when I talk about the show, when I try to advertise or promote it, a lot of people don't see. So hopefully, you know, people just know we're live on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And maybe being subscribers to this channel, you'll get notifications when we are live. So shout out to everybody who is in the chat right now. I'm so happy to see you here. Let's bring our friend Dr. Hall to the show. Where's my...
Hey.
Here we go, my dynamic. There he is.
There he is. How we doing?
There he is. How are you? Oh, is that a new microphone situation?
No, it's been here. I just hadn't. It just normally isn't in the shot.
Oh, I thought you got fancy. You got the little cover and everything. Huh?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm fancy over here. We're professional.
Yeah.
It's decent though. It's got a good little setup.
No, I got upgraded. Somebody had given me this mic a couple of years ago, and I felt really good about it. I was like, wow, I'm special. It's my microphone because I was kind of just using the Mac. And it just wasn't the same quality.
You were struggling.
I was absolutely struggling. Good to see you.
I mean,
good to
everybody.
see you. Hey,
often
everyone.
the production value issues are part of the charm of the show. So
yeah, you know what? Because ever since I got my PS5, the connection has been shit. And this part of me is like, do I need to unplug my PS5 every time I
do the
stream?
show? Yeah, maybe.
Dr. Hall, they charged me $138 a month just for internet access.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $90, and then it went to $138.
Jeez.
Dr. Hall, the prices are going up.
Prices are going up. I just heard that inflation is 3.8, 3.5.
Yeah, it's something. It was something. It was the highest they said it's been in a long time.
Yes. So yeah, money ain't stretching like it used to. And
they were just talking about that. They said all the gains that we got from wages going up has been totally leveled out by the cost of things going up.
Evaporated. Yes.
Dr. Hall, you're in Cincinnati, Ohio. How much is gas out there?
We are still hovering around $4.29 to $4.69 and occasionally $4.99. So we're
in Cincinnati?
Yes, in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah.
The cost of living is supposed to be lower there.
It usually is, but right now times are hard. So we can't break below that $4. So, you know, we got the Crozier out here, and you can get the gas for $1 off if you spend $1,000. And so that's like one of your only hey, use those Kroger points. Those Kroger points out here.
I'm a points girly. It's 455 out here today.
455, yeah.
You know, a lot of people were talking about. It's so funny because you know, we talk about all kind of stuff on this show, and we you know, politics and stuff like that. And
cover the gambit.
this inflation thing,
Crazy.
people are hurting, Dr. Hall. Like they are
Absolutely.
hurting. I am hurting. Like
Mhm.
I'm like another bill.
Right. Why they keep coming? The Williams never stop coming.
The gas bill, the electric bill,
Mm-hmm.
like the internet bill,
Mm-hmm.
and all the little taxes on things. And Dr. Hall, we have
Yeah.
to talk about how much of it is related to these damn data centers. I'm in a
Mm-hmm.
state that seems to want data centers,
Hey,
and they want
data arms race.
they want taxpayers to pay for that.
As any good American system.
So our energy costs have gone through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Same here. Ohio's trying to find something to do with all that land. Trying to get them some data centers. People are fighting back though. That is one thing that is
Good. Yeah, they're fighting back here
the
too.
fight is to get rid of the
No,
data
they're-
centers. So some of
yeah.
it is working to our benefit. It is a weird, like, in that way that we've, I've lived long enough to see so many things rise and fall. AI and data, big data, have like really, I definitely overplayed their hand. It's definitely a bubble that is going to pop. But it's so weird to see it so propped up, and the idea that they want to do it at the expense of us, the taxpayer, for gains we will never see. Like, it will just make us all destitute in the water.
Yeah. And what's
drag all the
crazy,
water and kill
Yeah.
the environment.
and what's crazy is that they said Northern Ohio, they said will probably be the safest place in the country to live for the climate change issues.
Yes,
right.
Ohio's good for climate change.
Yeah, and it's because we'll get into that in a second, but and so it's like interesting. I wonder how that's going to play out with them having all the data centers there, knowing the effects that the data centers have on the environment and on the climate and all of those things. It's like the last possible safe space for Americans to live when we reach those cataclysmic levels.
Yeah, I always wondered, you see those movies with the apocalypse happens, and it's like, well, what did they do to burn out the planet like that? And then something like this comes along, and it's like, oh, this has the potential to burn out the planet. And nobody stops and goes, maybe we shouldn't burn out the planet we all live on. Like, maybe big data is not worth it. Now, ideally, some of these bubbles are going to pop, things are going to collapse. It's weird to me to watch so many states want like tax credits and things like that for these data centers, when you think about the fact that all it is going to be is a pipeline for data. It doesn't actually bring a lot of money in. It's not like any other type of business, like a textile factory or a steel mill. Like, this is just, they're going to extract as much money and resources they can from an environment and then move on. And whatever happens, you'll be left holding the bag, like big business often does.
Listen, we're
slow blinking. You slow blinking?
I'm trying. I'm holding on.
We're gonna get there.
I'm holding on.
We're gonna do it. Keep it going.
Speaking of which, they were talking about Louisiana, New Orleans, right?
Yes. Falling to the sea.
There, dog. Now here's the thing. Right. So they're saying it's a point of no return. This is from The Guardian, folks. And they're saying that New Orleans relocation must start now due to the sea level. A study finds Louisiana's cultural hotspot could be surrounded by the Gulf of Mexico before the end of this century. Now, here's the thing, Dr. Hall, when we say end of the century, everybody's like, oh, that's so far away. We're more than a quarter into this century. It's 2026.
20 years, yeah.
So
already, which sounds weird to an old person like me. How do we get here so fast?
I don't want to be around for another 75 years personally,
I'm curious.
Prince said maybe I'll die young like heroes die. I'm with it. I don't I just saw somebody talking online. They were talking about that their grandmother or something turned like 90 something, and she was just like, I don't know if I want to be 90 years old. I don't mind being in my 90s if I can still wipe my own ass. I don't want to be in a place where somebody has to wipe my behind for me at that age, and where I feel like my brain is betraying me. Dr. Hall, that'd be the worst thing for me, for someone like me, to lose control of my brain.
Right. I always worry about getting old and being trapped in your brain. You know what I mean? Like that
Ooh,
idea that
yeah.
people keep you alive, and it's like
Yeah.
I can't speak, I can't move.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I'm just stuck inside a cage. Yeah,
Do not do that to me. I
right,
am a
right.
fan of self-deleting when a person
Yeah, yeah.
wants
Well,
to.
sign your DNRs. Do not resuscitate.
Yeah, no, I do. I have DNRs.
There you
Do
go.
not bring me back. Like, don't do that. But anyway, New Orleans, they're saying
gonna fall into the ocean.
they're saying that people should start moving out. They should start getting away from it. And you know, we can't talk about this without thinking about Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
You know, 2 decades ago, we watched as, you know, the levees broke. This was not a natural disaster. This was a man-made disaster. The levees broke. The levees should have been repaired. They should have been taking care of those people, but they didn't, because the levees they knew the levees prevented the water from going into the areas that were predominantly Black. So we're talking about environmental racism, right? The poor people, the Black people. We're talking environmental racism. We're talking about like racist approaches to infrastructure in this country, right? Yeah. Everything in this country is about race. We know this. There's not one single thing that we could think of that is not affected by anti-Blackness, right? And so Hurricane Katrina comes, all these people are displaced. The people, I mean, so many lives lost, so many homes lost, so many elements of the culture just disrupted in this place. Now, many of the people still there came back, have been rebuilding. Of course, the displacing, you know, developers coming in and all of that stuff. A lot of folks moved to Houston, right? Houston got a boost, and you know, some other Texas City, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, people moved out. But New Orleans is like such a cultural hub for our people. It is.
It'd be a tragic loss.
Have you been to New Orleans?
Many times. I've been very well. Roamed French Street and you know, been all over. Met the guy from The Wire there.
I love New Orleans.
And Tracy Thomas.
It's hard. Oh, I love Tracy Thomas too. She's so
awesome. Tracy Thomas. Literally was walking down Bourbon Street and walked right past her. It was like Tracy Thomas.
She's one of the most slept on.
Absolutely. Great
actresses ever.
Yes.
But every time I go there, you know, I've talked before, I have like this whole spiritual content.
Too much for you,
whatever. It's way too much for me to go to New Orleans. I can't be in New Orleans more than a few days. Like literally get to the point I'm walking down the street and there are like freaking spirits reaching out to me.
Get your beignets,
like,
get your
I gotta get the hell out of here. I gotta go. Because it's just too much. But it's such a wonderful portal because it's an intersection of all the indigenous people, all the African people, you know, and all the things that they created. So to hear now that they're telling people that they need to leave because it will be uninhabitable. This is not something that we should not be thinking of. And this is not something to push aside.
Right.
Also thinking about the folks who were in the Rocky Mountain region who didn't really have a winter this year. Dr. Hall, the Rockies are melting. They were melting, right? And then the Southwest in March this year, triple-digit weather in March in the Southwest. Now, the Southwest usually gets hot. We know that. But triple digits in March? When are they going to start ringing the bells? No, because we have an administration that refuses to acknowledge that climate change is real. These are the stupid people who will say things like, well, it's not global warming because it's cold outside. Like, just a moment for like how stupid this administration is. I've said this before, Dr. Howe. I said, you know, I kind of miss the smart GOP. Now, I don't have to agree with these people. Remember last time we were talking about the Heritage Foundation? I'm like, this is not a stupid guy. This is a very smart guy. Research is very well. These are all smart people. They've got degrees from Yale and Harvard and Stanford and, you know, all these different places. These are smart people. I miss the smart people. I don't have to agree with you. You could be a bigot, but at least be smart about it, right? Because at least I can respect the intelligence of it, right? I'm an extreme person. I'm far on the left. They're not going to agree with whatever I have to say, but at least they can acknowledge that I'm smart. We are dealing with absolute idiots. And it feels good to say that because I know we're not supposed to say idiot.
You know, everybody can't be smart.
Not trying to be able.
There have always been idiots throughout history. I was literally saying this to someone. There's always been idiots.
There's always been the village idiot.
Well, I mean, once again, this experiment of educating an entire populace is rare. We've only been
Right.
doing it for 100 or so
Right.
years.
Right.
Prior to that, we were not educating everybody, and we did not have it. There was not an expectation. That's how feudalism worked, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the elite get educated,
Yeah.
and the rest of you just do what we say.
You just
don't
do
know
what you gotta do. You just work.
But now we've created platforms where everyone gets a voice, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
how do you control that? Because everybody thinks they have something to say
Whoa.
without having to educate them.
That's a great segue.
Hey,
Look at you.
hey.
Ready with
Not my
the
first
segue,
rodeo.
looking at the docket.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes,
Mhm.
everybody here should know by now, if you follow me on any platform, you know how much I hate for-profit colleges and universities. You know I hate them. And the main reason I hate them is because of how exploitative they are, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. They target vulnerable populations. I'll kick you off the show. Leave me alone. They target vulnerable populations.
Uh-huh.
They target Black people. They target women. They
Black
target
women in
people.
particular.
Yes, Black women in particular. They
Big money
target
in Black
people
women.
in the military,
Mhm.
and they target low income people.
Yes.
These schools only care about making money, Dr.
Yes.
Hall. That's all they care about. Hold on, I'm going.
Go ahead.
Because my gosh, I have to do it. I get so tired sometimes. All right, so let me show you guys here. Let me share my screen real quick.
Do it.
I just want people to see this man right here. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I'm going to open it. Here we go. This is the guy who is in charge. Steve Beard, CEO of Adlatum Global Education. Okay. Why is he important? Right. This is a Black man. I want everybody to look at this. This is it's a very wealthy man, Dr. Hall. This man is the CEO of Adtalem Global. Adtalem Global used to be called DeVry.
Oh, we know that name.
DeVry.
DeVry Institute?
DeVry.
Okay.
DeVry, the school that was scamming everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, and got shut down for being a fraudulent school, and it rebranded itself into Adtalem Global. Adtalem Global has a portfolio that includes Walden University, Chamberlain University, okay, fake schools, right? And so I just want to point this out. The man makes about $17 million a year. It just in like kind of what's equivalent to like sales commissions, right? He makes it from the stocks in the school and in the school's companies, right? That relies on people signing up and being
got to get them in the doors,
okay,
whether they graduate or not.
So exactly, these schools target us. They put ads on Facebook, TikTok, things like that. They know exactly who to target. We know the social media mythology about Black women being the most educated. Guys, I have a video on that. You can go to the video page and scroll back a bit. I think I did it last year, so you might have to scroll a little bit.
Yes.
Where I talk about and I debunk the myth that Black women are the most educated. We are not. It's a game of telephone and poor journalism. That's why people think that, right? We are the most educated among Black people, but pretty much every group of women is the most educated in their respective.
Women are outpacing men everywhere and every.
Yeah, I think except with Asians. I think the Asian men have an edge over the women, but for the most part, like women dominate education. So that's not even all that special, right? But there's a social media meme, right, of like women to be like, oh, what is with Black women? We just get bored and we go get another degree. That is not true. You don't go get another degree. If you did, the data would be there. Black women are not getting those degrees, but Black women are enrolling in schools and not finishing because of various reasons. But increasingly, Black women have been enrolling in these fraudulent for-profit schools because of the easy access. Now, Dr. Hall, I just want to give a caveat because you already know how I feel about this. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I don't like how difficult it is for some people to be able to access higher education.
Yeah, no,
And it's
really
not necessarily, in my opinion, because of the selection process, although there are issues with that. It is about the preparation that gets you to the point to make you a good candidate to get accepted into these schools, right? The United States has about 5,000 colleges and universities, right? Many of them are online schools. Some of them are smaller schools, state schools, public schools, private schools, Ivy League, HBCUs. There's all different types of schools. Big Ten, big, the sports schools, all of that, right? In order to get into these schools, and I can't even say that now because with the great inflation of the last decade and AI,
how difficult students are right now.
There was a time when most schools had standards and it was difficult to get in. Now, we'll say that, the best choices, in my opinion, are for the public schools, the ones that are around like 60-70% admission, just because they're public schools, and they're supposed to welcome in certain numbers of people. Community colleges are great. They're open access. They exist for a reason, and they are valuable to our communities, right? Go to those schools to go and get some education, right?
Right.
HBCUs, many of them have long been committed to accepting students, especially African-American students, who did not do as well in because of systemic racism and various things. They'll take in students that have a 2.5 GPA, and those people will be able to go to those schools, get a good college education, do well, right? So we understand all of that. Yes. It is what it is, right? You know how the Ivies are, right? We were just talking the other day online about how it used to be all you had to do was get some decent grades and some extracurriculars and score well on the SAT, and you can get into any of the Ivies. And I was like, yeah, because that was it. Now
it's not the same.
You gotta start a business. Right.
You
gotta have a nonprofit that won 10 awards. Right. Like, what are we doing?
Gotta be the best of the best of the best.
We established that we understand that admissions is its own thing, selectivity is its own thing, but in my opinion, the biggest issue is the preparation to get our people there. And we know, Dr. Hall, that for hundreds of years, Black people, African American, first, second generation, whoever you are, we have been disenfranchised
historically, yes,
in these ways.
They don't want you in those rooms.
They do not want us in those rooms.
They did not build those rooms for you.
Absolutely. And then because of the way our school system, our public school system is set up, where the funding comes from local taxes, if you live in a poor neighborhood and the people are not paying a whole lot of taxes because many are on government assistance or have low wage jobs
because of the white flight, the
money is not funneling into the schools.
No.
Right. So that's one issue. We need to just make sure that all schools are equally funded across every state, but whatever.
Who wants that? So our people, you need a board of education for that, wouldn't you?
Oh, so our people have been struggling. So for us to get out of high school, Dr. Hall, yesterday I just heard the story about this young man who got to 12th grade and they're sending him back to the 9th grade because he has like a 0.5 GPA or something like that. He failed the majority of his classes, but they passed him along because of current policies where, one, they're not allowed to give students less than a 50 in a class. They have to pass them along. But he got like a 51 in English, and they just passed him from like English 2 to English 3. And they had his mother on there, and of course I'm side-eyeing her a little bit because, like, come on, your son missed over 200 days of school and you didn't know this. Like, he's failing, and you didn't even question why they were she said, well, I thought he did everything that he needed to do since they were passing him along. Her own ignorance, right? This is a woman, single mom with 3 kids, working 3 jobs. Dr. Hall, it's we can almost assume that she also may not have advanced, education or whatever. So this kid has to go back to 9th grade because he has no credits for any classes.
Jeez. Yeah.
So that's a systemic failure.
Yeah. Individual and systemic failure.
Right. And so people are not being prepared to finish school. So when you graduate high school, you got to go to college, right? Howard, I'm going to see if I can find. Can you do me a favor while I'm talking? Can you look up that graphic that Howard University produced? It's on my feed, so you should be able to find that. But Howard had posted, their stats for their graduates, and I think it was something like 72% women, 28% men, and people were shocked about this. I was like, again, this is how I know y'all don't know much about higher education. That ratio has been around since I was in undergrad 20 some odd years ago, Dr. Hall. There's always the ratio has been 3 to 1 for women to men for a very long time among Black people. Again, we have 60 some odd 70% of the degrees. This is not new, right? Somebody's trying to argue me is because as they say it's because of DEI. No, this has been like this for a couple of decades. There is a specific disenfranchisement that is happening with Black men and Black boys, right? Okay.
I shared the link, by the way.
Thank you. So we have, let me show, because I want to, this kind of folds in a bit. Where is it? Oh gosh, let me.
It's in the private chat and in the docket.
Oh, you put it in the private chat.
And in the docket. It's in the docket.
I see in the private chat. Got it. Thank you. Let me share my screen. Folks,
do the sharing of the screen.
I want you all to see this. Somebody had said, uh-oh, what just happened here? Here we go. All right. Can everybody see this? Okay, cool. So Howard University released this, okay? Howard University class of 2026. Total number of graduates, 3,160. That's a lot for an HBCU, right? There are some HBCUs don't even have that total number. But Howard is, how people don't want to hear me say it's the best one. Don't come for me in the comments, but just overall, Howard is the best HBCU in my opinion right now. Shout out to Howard Bison. Shout out to the Howard Bison. 17% are first generation grads, right? That's pretty much on par because about one out of every 5 college students and Black college graduates is foreign born or first generation, right? And that's about how our population is too. It's about 20% as well too, right? So that makes sense. Number of veterans, 134. Shout out to the veterans because the discrimination against veterans in education and in the workplace is amazing. So shout out to them. They 47% Pell Grant recipients. Now, for those who don't know what the Pell Grant is, it is a grant that is given to people who are considered lower income. Or people who are savvy enough to manipulate their taxes to appear as though they are low income. Do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do out here.
Get that money, right?
But that's almost half the student body.
That's almost half, Dr. Hall.
That's a lot.
When I posted this and they said, oh, this is cool except for one category. I was like, what one category are y'all looking at? Because there's some interesting stats happening on this thing.
There's a lot going on in here.
47% people meet the threshold to receive a Pell Grant. Dr. Hall, that's about $50,000 to $60,000 or less. Okay. Of a household income.
At least 1,500 of those graduates.
Are coming from households that make less than the median income.
And that's not including the first generation. That's more than the first generation people. So more than they got college degrees, but still qualify.
Okay.
Right.
But also with Howard being the top, that says a lot to whatever them parents was doing. And whatever that community was doing to support them kids through everything, as somebody from the hood who went to the Ivy League, like respect, right? The youngest graduate is 19. The oldest graduate was 71.
Shout out to them.
Just a reminder that education has no age. Like I see so many people talking about, am I too old to do this? I started my PhD program when I was 40. You're never too old for an education. Now, academia can be kind of ageist when you're kind of in those upper levels, but that doesn't mean you don't try. There's all kinds of discrimination that we deal with, right? I'm Black, I'm a woman, I'm queer, all these things. So, and then the states and DC with the most graduates, New York, of course. People, first of all, y'all gonna stop shitting on New York. It's 2.3 Black people live in New York City. Stop acting like it ain't a hub for Black people, okay? California, which is interesting because HBCUs tend to not get a lot of folks from the West Coast.
Yeah.
But Howard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Virginia, that makes sense because it's close. DC is close. Maryland, that all makes sense because of the proximity.
DC is a chocolate city.
Yeah, 72% women, 28% men.
A lot of the women.
That shocked people, but it didn't shock me.
No.
It's what it's been across the board for like 2 decades
men are not
now.
going to college. Yeah.
The fact that y'all have not paying attention to this is on you, but it's the truth. Excuse me, but it also speaks to, again, the ignorance a lot of people have about higher education. Right? No, the degrees don't mean, and then we've had that whole rhetoric, right? Coming from Black men saying, well, I don't care about your degrees. I just, can you just be a good wife? Can you cook for me? Can you have my kids? Well, this is why they say it.
Right. Hey, because you're watching a whole generation of women pass you by academically.
They don't have the degrees. So of course they're going to put it down.
Right.
You see something, you see people doing it. Like Eddie Murphy said, you're doing a dance and you don't like it because you can't do it. Right? So you put it down, you convince yourself that something's wrong with it because you haven't been able to do it. And so we're seeing it. Oh, Black men need to go into trades and all this stuff like that. This is why, right? Because they can't get in. Again, getting into Howard ain't easy.
No.
Okay. Now, I had applied to Howard for grad school myself. I just didn't like the administrator, the way she was talking. She was very nasty in her communication with me. And I'm like, I'm not bringing my brilliance to this school if you're going to be acting like this. I'm just putting that on record and saying it. I did consider it, but I withdrew my application. I was like, absolutely not. You ain't going to talk to me like this. Are you kidding me?
You hate to see it.
That's a whole other episode.
Right.
So 178 JDs, 114 MDs. Howard University Medical School. They lose their accreditation or something, or they're threatened. Their accreditation is being threatened. It's being threatened. Like there was something I was just reading about. So they got to get that shit together. 69 dental, 34 pharmacy, 92 doctors of philosophy. Dr. Hall, PhDs.
PhDs. Yeah.
Okay. Harvard, of all the reputable schools, is the highest confers the highest number of PhDs to Black students. And again, not all of these doctors of philosophies are Black, right? We know that because HBCUs are like a quarter white, or a quarter other people, right? But 92, that is fantastic. You know why it's also fantastic? Because Howard is now designated as an R1 university according to the Carnegie rankings. What does R1 means? It means the highest level of research universities, which means Howard University is producing valuable research, right?
Right.
And they got that designation,
That's
right?
the standard,
Which means we're going to see an influx of non-Black people now wanting to go to Howard.
Well.
And we're going to see Howard taking them because they're going to prioritize them over Black people, because that is what a lot of those schools do. Anyway, they want the money, right? The international students are going to come.
Hey, international
Howard University.
Bring the Quan. They're
going to bring the full tuition. Okay. So I'm showing that because if we go back to, our discussion about Adtalem and Walden University, we've said before, Walden University confers 5 times as many doctorates as Howard University does, right? We brought that up before. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
It hands them out, Dr. Hall. Here, you get a PhD. You get a PhD. You get an MD. You get everybody. Anybody off the street. Yay, you.
For the right price, I'll make your stitch sound nice.
Jerome Tyrone Jenkins III, would you like a PhD?
Sign a check.
Can you read this contract? No, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Just sign right there.
Sign the check.
You can get a PhD.
Yeah.
So there are other schools that are like that. Capella University, Grand Canyon University, Liberty University, where all you have to do is love Jesus. And you can go and get accepted into their PhD program.
Turn in some assignments.
And then there are some schools that have been shut down. One of them being Argosy University. Argosy, however I say Argosy.
I always think of it as a casino. Argosy was a casino.
Let's see. Argosy. Argosy University. Okay, Argosy University was a private for-profit university with campuses throughout the United States, owned by Dream Center Education Holdings. On February 27, 2019, United States Department of Education stated that they were cutting off federal funding to Argosy. All the schools were closed shortly after. It was the late 1970s. Michael Markovitz founded the Illinois School of Professional Psychology and later changed it to the American School of Professional Psychology in 76. Became the founding chairman of Argosy Education Group, which acquired the University of Sarasota in 92. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, they mishandled funds or whatever the situation is. They're frauds like all the rest of them, just like DeVry. So there were a lot of Black people that went to Argosy because Argosy accepted anybody off the street.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep saying it that way, Dr. Hall. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's the truth. Anybody off the street can go to one of these schools.
Yes. I mean, well, let's for a second, like the fraud that is the American college system is, we don't talk as much about it. It is its own bubble. Like the fact that you have federally backed loans that kids can get to go to colleges means you created essentially an eternal funnel by which federal dollars and whatnot will inflate these environments. And so if you can build a school where you can get whoever comes in the door, get them federal funding, and now you can just keep propping yourself up. And if you're not spending it in the right place, yeah, sure, your school might collapse. But I mean, like, what do you got the money already? You already
got the money.
So
they don't actually care what happens to people after they get the degrees. University of Phoenix got popped because they were promising people in their advertising and in their onboarding process that they would be able to get jobs in XYZ places, and they fabricated their graduate success to lure people in. That's why they got popped and ended up. So if you went to the University of Phoenix, you were able to qualify for having your student loans wiped out. Student loan forgiveness for many of these schools followed the same thing. They were fraudulent. Walden got sued and settled for $28 million. Because it was found that they were targeting Black women. Grand Canyon University also got sued, but the Trump administration reversed the decision, so they don't have to pay out people because it's a Christian school, right?
Yeah.
We did the deep dive on Liberty University already.
Yeah.
I'm just saying all of this to set up to discuss Cheyenne Bryant.
The Cheyenne Bryant.
I don't want to discuss Cheyenne Bryant, but we have to because we actually have a licensed clinical psychologist here.
We got somebody on here
by the name of Dr. Hall.
Did it the right way?
Dr. Rich Hall II.
Yes, Ph.D. Yeah.
Ph.D.
Yeah, dissertation and everything.
I read your dissertation.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I read people's dissertations. I'm a fucking nerd. That's what I do.
Oh yeah, nerd. Want to read about affirmative action as affirmative action? What is it? It's affirmative action American.
Okay. Yeah. That was good.
Oh, thank you.
It was short.
Many sleepless nights.
It was short.
It was short.
It's like
I'm trying to get out of there.
You were not writing no 300 pages.
The lore behind my thing is I wrote a 5-page intro where I connected my topic to antebellum slavery, and my chair X'd it out with red and was like, your dissertation starts here. So I was going to write a lengthy dissertation, and I was cut at the knees like, don't do that. This is unnecessary. We are not doing this. Just talk about what you came to talk about. Use your methods, because it's a research one. So I had to use top of the line statistical methods to explain my interaction effects. And
that's what PhDs do. We produce research for these schools.
Yes.
Right? They have their faculty that does research and gets grants and brings money into the schools. And a lot for those who don't know how these grants work, because I've worked at universities. I worked for a school of public health for a while. We could apply for a grant. Say the grant is $100,000.
Yes.
Our program would maybe get 65,000 of it. Yeah. And then the school Drexel where I was at,
Mhm.
Drexel University would get $35,000 of
Yes,
that.
you got to cut.
Well,
they get their
They
cut.
get a cut. Okay.
Right.
So
So
the
they-
school, again, I'm just explaining this stuff because a lot of people don't know how higher education works
Right.
in all of these many ways, right?
Right. And many
So-
of the graduate students are paid out of the grant
Yes,
funding.
paid out of these grants that they're
Mhm.
able to get. So
Yeah.
right now, we've often said, oh, you shouldn't pay for a PhD. The reason why that hits a little bit different now is because of all the Trump cuts to
Right.
these grants, these
Yep.
grant funding institutions,
Mhm.
suing
And federal
schools like
funding.
Harvard and Columbia for hundreds of millions of dollars, like all these
Yep.
kinds of things, which the judges have said was overreach. All right. So like
Yeah.
things will level out. But for this year in particular, I told people don't apply for no programs right now. Like there's
Yeah,
what
it's a
are you
bad
doing?
time. Bad
It's a
time to be
bad
out
time
there.
to apply for a
Particularly if you
PhD
got a lot of the black people leaving these universities because of
because of that stuff, right? Because they're cutting whole programs and things like
cutting
that.
DEI programs. Yeah.
Yes, I watched on Threads, followed
Mm-hmm.
people along. They were applying to all these things in the fall, and this spring, rejection.
Mhm.
I was like, I told y'all not to apply right now.
Yeah. Bad time
They have
for higher
to
education.
be right. They have to be like schools that could take 5 people are now only taking 3.
Yeah.
Right. Like
They do
they
not have the
had,
funding.
they didn't have
Funding
the
is uncertain.
funding.
Yeah.
And so I'm just seeing all these like black folks who, of course, were rushing to get education because of the whole, I forgot what it was called, but it's like when the economy goes down, people rush into entrepreneurship and education
Yes.
because that's,
it's
I
usually
forgot
more
what it's
stable.
called. It's economic theory. Maybe you can look that up for me while I'm talking. So I knew that the uptick we saw in black people applying to these schools was directly related to the economic downturn.
Mhm.
But at the same time, with all the cuts and with the fact that more people were applying, it was going to be more competitive, right? That's just the nature. That's what it is. Higher
Mhm.
education. Cool. So we tell people don't pay for them because they're honestly not worth
Because
it.
the money used to be there, but
The
now
money used to be there, but also
up.
I just personally don't think a PhD is worth paying for.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I'm also coming from social work where the MSW is the terminal degree, right? And you're in business, the MBA is terminal. When you're in art, the MFA is terminal. Those are considered terminal degrees. So we're like, you don't really need the rest. Cool. Sorry, we're dragging on, folks, but this is important because we need to
Yeah.
make this point.
countercyclical schooling.
No, that's close, but that's not the one I was thinking
That's
about.
not
But
the one?
I've heard that. That's what That's not
Human
what I was thinking.
capital investment. The idea that
No,
when
no,
the
no,
economy
no,
downturns.
no,
Oh,
it's
Google
something
gave me the
else.
wrong thing.
That's okay. It happens.
So we're losing funding.
We're
less
losing
graduate
funding.
students. Graduate school is hard.
Yes,
They
there's
only
more
pay
people
you
applying.
below the
Yes.
poverty line to be a graduate student.
Yes,
But you do a lot of work, and
Yes.
once again, another
it is
exploitative part of this
there's a
lot of research.
privilege.
Right. Is a lot of research is propped up by that privilege.
Yeah.
You get to go to college, get paid a poverty wage, usually below $14,000, $15,000 a year, to do research to help prop up the university's research to get those grant dollars, but you're not making what the university's making off your back.
Dr. Hall, they gave me $2,700 a month
Yeah, no,
plus free
it's abysmal.
tuition.
Yeah.
Dr. Hall, my housing expenses alone are like $5,000 a month.
Yeah. How you go? You can barely eat off that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know. They said they like Dr. Hall. Look at that.
Hey,
Look at
one in
that.
the chat for your
Yeah,
boy.
is that one of your friends that you pulled in or something?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
We're friends now. Shout
Yeah.
out to Cuddy.
I was doing speaking engagements. I was
Hey.
doing, I was
Hustle.
consulting. I had to do all this other stuff to just
Yeah.
make the ends meet, right?
I had to
Because
sign in the student ledger. I was not supposed to have a
Right.
second job, but I worked
Right.
every year.
right. and then they were like, and then you have to think about, all one of the reasons why it's easier for white people, especially white women, to get them is because a lot of them are married to men that can cover the household expenses. A lot of them have families that can support them while they're
Yes.
getting their PhDs. They have safety, economic
Safety
safety nets,
Yeah.
trust funds, all those kinds of things that most of us do not have.
Yep.
So that has
Inheritance
always
privilege
kind
stuff.
of kept
Yeah.
doctorates out of our reach,
Yes.
right? And then we started getting professional doctorates, right?
Mhm.
The EdD, the Doctor of Education, the PsyD, the Doctor of
PsyD.
Psychology, the DSW, the Doctor of Social Work, the DBA, the Doctor of Business, which absolutely is a ridiculous degree, but whatever. You know, we started getting those, and those have no funding. Those are professional doctorates.
Yes.
So those you pay out of pocket for those.
Mm-hmm.
And so people will take loans, or they get tuition reimbursement, or, you know, through their employers or whatever situation is, right?
Yeah.
The EdD is also big among Black people because we are overrepresented in education. We are,
All right.
you know,
Education and healthcare. Two of our
we don't have
biggest.
as many, right? We don't have as many teachers, but when it
No.
comes to education administration and things like that and research,
We out here.
we are overrepresented in that.
Mhm.
So the EdD is also popular among our people. Right?
Yes.
But Black people are also committed to education. Why? Because of the disenfranchisement that we've been talking about, right?
One of the only ladders that help get you out of poverty.
Yeah, we
We
want
have
to reverse that. I think you froze. Are you frozen? I'm not
We're
frozen.
both frozen right now.
Oh no, I'm moving. There you go.
I'm
Okay.
moving. There we
You
go.
weren't moving.
I was moving, but
Anyway, we're on this. Okay, so y'all still with us? Y'all still with us?
yeah,
This is
we
the
did
whole setup.
deep dive into education.
We're doing a deep dive today because this is important. Okay.
Right.
So it's not easy getting into a PhD program. Dr. Hall, I applied for several programs. I got into I got into a fraction of them. I don't even want to say I got into a fifth of the programs that I applied to.
Sorry.
Dr. Hall, I'm an Ivy League educated, like successful person.
I applied.
And them PhD programs was like, get out of here.
Go somewhere else, Darky.
But I got into ones that I wanted to get into.
That's what matters in the end.
And what they say, it only takes one yes.
It just takes one yes.
It only takes one yes. One of them waitlisted me, and then they circled the block like, nah, you ain't want me.
Yep.
You ain't want me.
Back then, they didn't want me.
Now I'm hot, they all love me.
Yep.
Because your girl got a tenure track job.
Hey,
got a
shout
tenure
out
track
Dr.
job. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Hey, we out here. We out here.
Out
Anyway,
here. Employed.
we out here. Employed.
Yeah.
As of late August. But okay.
Hey, they're coming. Coming.
Yeah, so hit that cash out, hit that Venmo.
Get us to the summer.
The support system through the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy getting into these programs.
Not easy at all.
I graduated with my MSW with a 4.0 from another R1, university. City University of New York's Graduate Center is an R1. Graduated.
Hey, look at you. You got a diploma and everything.
4.0.
You got a transcript and everything, don't you?
Had recommendations out the ass. I'm Feminista Jones. Also, let's not forget that.
Hey,
I still
world renowned.
I was rejected. Now, if I can get rejected, then, and I'm not being an asshole, but the average person will also face a lot of rejection.
Uphill battle.
Hard.
It is.
That's how you went straight through at the same school, right?
I
almost sort of like kind of grandfathered in.
University of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I was essentially grandfathered in. I got that nepotism privilege because I had taken all the professors that would let me in as an undergrad. Went away for a while, came back. My mentor liked me. She had actually chosen someone else, and then they declined. And she was like, because Black people often don't get the opportunities. If she didn't have a student that year, she could lose her funding for future students. And so I was right there, right next to the pile. And she said, you want to come to graduate school? And I was like, absolutely.
Hey, we love that story, Dr. Hall.
When I tell you I Hail Married, like it was 3 days before the application was due, and I was like, I'm just turning in and see what happens. Like, I did not think I was getting in that year. I just wanted to do the application.
Many stories are like that. Like, and that's the other thing. It's like, y'all gotta understand, like, we by any means,
right.
I'm not gonna say nothing about no Black person who, who's able to, and you get into an R1, right? So you go ahead and you do that, and then you become the brilliant man who gets to charge people like $800 an hour for therapy. It's great
right now, but you still
$200 an hour for therapy. Look at you.
Yeah.
Let me hold $5. But anyway,
I mean, I got you.
Okay, back to the point. It's hard to get in.
The point.
So, if you are a person who has been disenfranchised
Mm-hmm.
You got a high school diploma.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you went to undergrad, right? And you may have gone to, you know, a school that doesn't necessarily have a big name or what have you. One of the things I actually want one of my Ed.D. folks to study this, the HBCU to for-profit pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be studied as well. But you know, maybe you went to a school that didn't have graduate school planning. They didn't have like
Sometimes they
chapters
don't.
of the Mellon Foundation program or the McNair Scholars, Mellon Scholars, things like that. Didn't have robust Fulbright kind of stuff. Like you didn't go to a school where they really pushed graduate school or they taught you about graduate school. So you got your bachelor's
Mhm.
degree and you kind of went into the workforce and it was just like, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, you decide you want to go back to school. Now, you didn't really make many connections with your professors. You've kind of worked jobs, not necessarily a career, right? You don't necessarily have the people that can write strong letters of recommendations for you.
That's important.
Maybe in undergrad, you barely made it out. Your GPA wasn't all that strong, you know, you didn't get over a 3.0. Maybe, I mean, there's a lot of things that factor into that, right? These schools will take you and they won't care about any of that. You don't have to take any standardized test. You don't have to you don't have to really do much of anything except I think submit a transcript and fill out an application. Like that's it. And now you're on the path to getting a PhD or an Ed.D., you know?
Something you can put on a CV.
And they do it for the bachelor's and the master's level too. So maybe you didn't get the chance to go to college. And now you can go, and because maybe you have kids now, you're working, you need the online access because it's flexible. They do that. That's who they target. And so they tell you, come on, you can get a degree here. Don't worry about it. You can do it on your own time, self-paced. You don't have to, you know, you can get it done in 2 years, you know, if you follow our program. And people are susceptible to that. You know, somebody said no GRE, no, you don't have to do any of that to get into these schools. And it's really interesting also this year, Dr. Hall, one of the things I was telling Black folks, you know, they were applying to these schools, Ivy League schools, and didn't take the GRE. And they were like, yeah, but they said it was optional. That shit is never optional.
It's never optional.
Like, that's one of the ways they're weeding people out, Dr. Hall, when they said it's optional. They don't mean it's optional. And again, you gotta know this.
Everything is a point towards your application.
Yes, everything is a point towards your admission. And so you had all these people I saw on threads and social media applying to these PhD programs without taking the GRE. And while we can talk about the problems with standardized testing or whatever,
absolutely,
bring them back, because we saw them making the SAT optional. We saw what happened to colleges now, undergrad, a bunch of dummies in there, like because of the grade inflation. They got a 4.3 GPA, but if they were to submit their SAT scores, they got a 900. They can't read. They don't know what words are. They don't know how to add. They can't do algebra. Okay.
I can't speak. I also did not take the GRE when I applied because it was a Hail Mary.
Well, because you got
I got in the back door.
I'm taking it twice.
I did have to take it. I just needed a number. I didn't need a good one. I just needed a number. I was in.
I've also taken an LSAT too. I was going to be a lawyer. I do okay on standardized tests.
I'm sure.
You know, but yeah, somebody said the SAT is optional. Yes, the SAT and ACT, those things are optional. But if you don't take them and you don't submit them, you miss out on opportunities. You're not getting into Morehouse, for example, without it. And if you do, they're not giving you any funding. And the HBCUs this year, when my son was applying, if you didn't submit them scores, you were not qualifying for any of the scholarships that they were offering to students.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that though.
Right. As a person who's been involved in many, because I worked for a college for 9 years, many application processes, it's the idea that the applications, there's a point system to applications, even if it's formal or informal. Everything that is in the application is a point. Your recommendation letters are points. Your scores are points. Your grades are points. because you're getting so many applications. And I don't even know what it's like now that there's AI involved, but like back then it was, you get a stack of applications, you rank them according to the points, and then you use that, you read through like essays and things like that, you give those points. And so, you know, they're not just like, even though they may say as a college, we're not going to weight that, so there's no weight applied to this particular category. Every category contributes to points.
Yep. And if they're comparing your application with no GRE to a similar application with GRE, you're not getting in.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they're not offering funded programs to people who didn't take the GRE. Why? Because it's an insurance measure. The same way these jobs won't hire you without a degree. It's an insurance measure. They have to report to their boards. They have to, their funding is contingent upon people having certain credentials and things like that. So people have to understand
that. Guarantee that you might.
They have, that
measure that you will succeed in the program, because people with higher scores tend to succeed better and have a better chance of graduating. So
it's the truth. Like, we're not going to lie about this shit. No. Like, I mean, again, we can critique all the issues, but we can bring up any anecdote we want. But
right. But to circle it back around, Cheyenne Bryant does
Cheyenne Bryant. Let's show a scene from her. Yeah. Let's introduce people to Cheyenne Bryant. This is Cheyenne Bryant, folks. Okay.
I don't like honesty. I like transparency. Let me explain the difference. Honesty is I ask you, hey babe, who were you at dinner with? Yeah. And you tell me the truth. That means you're being honest. Yeah. Transparency is, hey baby, I got dinner at 7 with James, Nathan, and his assistant Sarah's gonna be there.
And
that's transparency. So now guess what? You were forthcoming. Yep. You told me what it was. Yep. And so now I trust it. I don't like.
Okay. So that's the setup.
Yeah.
Cheyenne Bryant don't like honesty. She like transparency.
Apparently.
She likes transparency. However, Cheyenne Bryant was not too long ago on Cam Newton's show. She was also on Joe Budden. She's, you know, she's been making
the rounds, because that's
making rounds. She is a light-skinned, thin Ayanna Van Sant, right? They always kind of cling to. Oh, Cheyenne ain't that damn young, but anyway, they always, they always cling to just new people. Everybody gets, you know, their little.
There's always a new one in the mental health space.
There's always a new one in mental health, right? And so she's, you know, you can see she's light skinned. She's got a particular aesthetic or whatever that these niggas find appealing, right?
Yeah. She came from the reality TV space.
And has been saying that she is a clinical psychologist.
No, she said doctor and therapist.
She said doctor. I'm pretty sure I saw her at one point say she was a clinical psychologist.
I don't know that she said clinical psychologist.
She may have wiped it.
Yeah, she implied. She said I went to a clinical psychology program. I pursued a clinical psychology doctorate. That was the language that she used. Pursued a clinical psychology doctorate to imply that she had attained it because she's calling herself doctor.
So people started, you know, questioning it because she's been saying some questionable things.
A lot of
like, you know, stuff that, you know, mental health professionals like you and I'm retired, but you know, we're kind of like, bitch, that ain't in the book.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So, I mean, once again, those of us who go through these programs, they drill the ethics part into us. What you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot do. It is in the law for my state. I had to know this. I cannot call myself a psychologist until I am fully licensed. I can call myself doctor because I got the doctorate, but until I pass the licensing exam, I can't call myself a psychologist. I have a clinical psychology degree. I could be a doctor of clinical psychology, but to call myself a psychologist, I have to have passed that state exam, which is different state by state, right?
Yes, it is.
And so
every state is different, and every state, you know, keeps different records and you know, makes things available. They have different laws and ethic codes and things like that.
You have to know.
Yes, you have to know them, and you have to renew your license, and you have to stay up to date with these things, and you got to do like continuing education credits, and you got to do a lot of things.
A percentage of those EUs have to be in ethics. You can learn about all the other stuff you want, but you got to do at least 2 to 4 ethics trainings just to make sure you own your stuff, because they will take that credential if you break those rules. So the credentials are important.
Yes.
It builds the trust of the job. Like people need to be able to trust.
I knew she said it. She did say it at some point because I read her saying it. Yeah, no, she did. That was the issue. It's like people are like, well, why are you saying that? Right.
Right. Well,
Now on the social work side, and I bring up social work because there's all different types of mental health professionals, right?
Right.
There's all different types.
Yes,
and
like
you can get various levels of degrees, license, practices, all these kinds of things, these credentials or whatever. There's different people working in different capacities, right? When I was running my programs, I could do certain things with our clients that my service coordinators could not because they were not credentialed in certain ways. Me being a certified alcohol and substance abuse counselor, I could provide certain treatment, tactics and strategies and things that my not even my clinical coordinator could do because she wasn't a certified alcohol and substance abuse counselor. You know what I'm saying? So it's all different types of things, and we all have different roles to play. And we get these credentials because they, one, they're an insurance, and they're supposed to be an insurance in some way to say that this person has been trained and is perpetually trained. There's checks and balances here. This person has made a promise to follow a certain code of ethics. And if something goes wrong, there's a certain way of reporting and all these kinds of things, right? Stopgap from people overreaching. There's there's so many reasons why these things are important. On the other side, and I have to give this side, Dr. Hall, you and I had this conversation a while back, that also makes you a cop, right? You're functioning
you have a responsibility.
Yeah, you're an agent of the state because the state makes and like you said, it's different from state to state, but the state makes the rules about what you're supposed to do in the event of X, Y, and Z. You have an obligation.
You have legal obligations, which are different than ethical obligations, which are different than professional obligations. And
then we can use the example of the mandated reporter. Right. Mandated reporter in various states. If you are a particular type of employee, whether you're a teacher, doctor, social worker, those kinds of things, you're considered a mandated reporter in that if you suspect child abuse, you actually have to report it. Like you have a
reasonable assumption. Or report.
And
someone is engaging in harm to self or others or harm to a vulnerable population. Which includes children, people with developmental disabilities, the elderly, and the like. Then you have a responsibility to report it immediately. You cannot sit on it for too long. You should seek consultation and do all the steps. But you have
for this job that I just got. They had to do a full background check, and the reason why I was expedited is because I had my clearances because I worked already in a school in that state that required 5 different clearances and 2 trainings that I had to do. These things exist for a reason, but I also understand why people don't do it.
Because it's a lot of hoops,
and it can put you in a position to have to make a decision that you may not
feel comfortable
morally feel is okay, and that is why some people who maybe were previously licensed or were working and operating in a particular space move into coaching, even though they have the same training and they have the capacity to do these things. They may move into the coaching space, or they may call themselves something different, a counselor, because they don't want to be bound by that,
by those laws and ethics.
By those laws and those things. There's cultural components of that, Dr. Hall, right?
Yes, absolutely.
There, we look at and we think about. I think of like, 5. They make sure. Because and it's because I'm teaching college and because minors do go to college.
Once again, it's so the idea that there are protected populations.
There are protected populations that you have to be, whatever.
Populations. And so we need to make sure on a state level that the laws say the person who is engaging with those populations is legit
Yes.
Because otherwise you're suing and you know, one of the things people don't have to talk about, when you sue a university, you're also kind of suing the state. The governor sets the board for universities, right? Like, they're not as far removed. People don't think of it that way. I remember being like, wait, the governor says who's on the board? Yes. And so what does that mean? The person who gets elected to the top of your state gets to say who's making the decisions for the college. So they got to make sure everybody who works there, particularly the people who address the students and have a power balance over the students, is legit. So making sure that you're credentialed and ethically sound.
So I want to talk about this too, because this is kind of true, right? It's it's not across the board. Yes, there are certifications for coaching, but you can also do like self-certification for coaching as well.
They're not as like, so once again, we were talking about like for psychology and for social work and all that, because we found this out during COVID. Credentialing is state by state. There is no federal board that credentials people in the mental health space. But those, essentially, they're tied to the state government and the state laws. Coaching has not risen to that point where it is equally as balanced as, like, they're not even at the plate where hairdressers are yet. Yeah, with their credentials.
Yeah, doctor, I can be a coach.
Yeah. You could call
and I'd be a good one. I have all the credentials and work experience and education to actually be a mental health coach or to be somebody who could help people in that way. Yeah, I could do, you know, I could work with
families. Charge $200.
I could, like, I literally could, and I have all the stuff to back it up, and I'd be pretty good at it. And the reason why I bring that up is because sometimes I'm an abolitionist, so you know I'm gonna have to bring that perspective in.
Yes.
These systems have forced our people into carceral situations against their will when it was unnecessary.
Yes.
Child Protective Services has destroyed Black families under the guise of following the codes and the rules and the laws. People people have been designated as troubled teens have been locked away in institutions because of discrimination. The United States has a long history of putting women in asylums and sanatoriums and you know, because husbands were just done with them. Black people, Black men are misdiagnosed, overdiagnosed,
over-medicated,
underserved, underserved. We have to consider all of those things.
Absolutely.
And there is absolutely a space for people who want to practice community and cultural care, culturally proficient, culturally, you know, inherent care. Outside of the parameters of that. And that's why that whole conversation gets a little sticky to me, because there are people who are coming, oh my God, you're not licensed, you ain't supposed to be, stop. No. That's, if you want to call yourself a certain thing, yes, you need to have those things. But not having those things does not mean that you cannot provide the care and support that people need. And we need to just let that be what that is.
Again, there's like 6 or 7 different types of mental health practitioners you could be, but we still need a spectrum of care because once again, there's not enough of us. Like there's not enough for me to go around, not enough therapists to go around. So we got to have, and that everybody doesn't need a medical level, doctoral level of intervention. We would circumvent so many mental health problems if more people had community, if more people had connection, or someone
if we had more programs that were culturally and community based to train people to provide culturally relevant mental health care. And then we have our own governing body that kind of, you know, checks in and has checks and balances and things like that. That would be transformative for our communities, because Dr. Hall, right now, somebody may not go to you and they may not need to go to you and get DBT. They may not need CBT. They may need to just come to me and like, they need to talk about the stress of, they can manage that. And they may need somebody who can help them kind of mitigate the stress and how do I deal when this thing happens? What are some tools I can use to help myself do that? I don't need to be monitored by the state to tell you that or to help you work with that. There's a place for that.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure that we're clear that we understand that
Yes.
we understand the spectrum.
I am not anti-coaching.
Right.
I got this whole PhD. I have friends that are coaches. I brought
Mhm.
coaches into environments with me because I recognize there is a spectrum of need in our
Yes.
community, and that some people just do need like a business coach that can help them, identify how they do better in their careers. They need a relationship.
Listen, in the kink space,
Mhm.
okay, accountability kink is a thing. Okay,
Mhm.
an accountability dom is somebody who will literally whip your ass into shape.
Well,
We
there you
also
go.
have peer support, right?
Mhm.
People that have gone through certain programs and become peer mentors and peer support, and they are trained and they are dispatched into the communities. Why? Because people in the communities are more likely going to listen to somebody who is in recovery or somebody who has been able to manage their bipolar 2 disorder than they are going to listen to someone like Dr. Hall. Who's this
Yeah.
bougie light-skinned dude trying to tell me what to do?
Hey, he be
Just
wearing sport coats and whatnot.
like, what is he doing? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so I'm just, again, so we say that. So back to Cheyenne.
Yeah.
She's been calling herself something she is not. And
Yeah.
that is a problem. Okay. Don't do that. I'm not going to call myself, Dr. Taylor. And I just posted about it, how like I really don't like when people call me that. I put it here because that's how I sign off on my students, Dr. T.
Yeah.
But like I prefer Professor Taylor.
Hey,
Or
now you can
my
call yourself
name.
Professor Taylor because you are.
Because
in
I mean
August,
it's a
Professor
I don't know,
Taylor.
there's some pretension there. I get like I
Yeah.
I know why Black people celebrate us, Dr. Hall and Dr.
You earned
Taylor.
it.
I understand why
Yeah.
people do that because
Yeah.
like we made it,
Yeah.
for the Black, but also it's not my whole identity.
Right.
I do really great research. I develop theories. I've developed methods. Yeah, write that down. That's cool. But like,
Mhm.
I can't call myself that without this plaque that's sitting on my wall right here.
Right. My one right above me. I got to have them on the wall. They got to
You
be.
gotta have them on the walls.
Yeah.
I just got this job. Had to submit all of them. All the degrees I claimed that I had, I had to send them to
Scan
them.
them in
for
and send them in 'cause hey, we need proof.
So it's Professor Taylor's fine. Michelle is also fine. Or FJ. Like, I'm a human being. If you're not my student or if you're not a white person trying to talk to me slick, just don't call me Miss or Mrs. or Ms.
Yeah.
I don't want that gendered bullshit. So,
Yeah.
figure it out. But anyway, so she's come under fire because she claimed to be this thing that she's not. So now she's defending herself because people started picking it apart. I was one of those people that was like, well, where's the dissertation? If you got this PhD, most of us have to do either a dissertation or a capstone or something. There's some culminating project that a person has to defend to show that they have mastered a particular field and some topic. They had research questions. They researched it. They tried to answer them. They studied something, whatever situation is, they are now this expert in this particular thing. You have to prove that. You have to prove that in front of a board of people that sit there and you've got to defend what you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the folks in here were at my dissertation defense. It was a good old time. Very, very family reunion type thing. But that's what happens in Black Studies. We have a good time.
Me and mine. It was a gauntlet.
Yeah. So no, it's fine. No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Tasha, for saying that. No, you have been for a long time. And back when my son was a minor, I was very protective of my identity and things like that. But since going to grad school and kind of moving into a different space, people know who I am. So anyway, she came under fire because
she's calling herself doctor.
She's calling herself this, and so now
she's got a doctorate in psychology or
yes. And first when I saw Argosy, I was like, well, that's a fake school anyway. It don't matter if she actually did finish the program. It's a fake school. It got shut down for being fake. Anyway, she's on the Breakfast Club defending it, and so let's watch this clip.
She went on the Breakfast Club to clear it up after the last
clear it up after people have been
ragging
for the last couple of weeks. People have been talking about this. Okay, so let's go into theater
Dr. Raquel
mode.
Martin made a very clear statement about her.
Yeah, Dr. Raquel Martin went on Mark Lamont Hill's show and was talking about it, and then they started going after her and calling her a hater, saying she's bringing another Black woman down, all this stuff. And there's no way you look at that and see that, you look at a sister who's saying, actually, we are working in a very vulnerable field. We're literally messing with people's minds.
Right.
We have to gatekeep. We have to be thoughtful about those things. We have to be careful about that, because we can do serious harm by pretending to be something we are not.
Yes.
And not having the education and the skills to be able to deliver on the services we're claiming that we're delivering on.
Right.
That's harmful, and it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
So she went on, and was talking about that. And she, being a dark-skinned woman with kinky hair,
was attacked.
Of course, she got attacked. But let's watch this real quick. Let's listen to this.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant on the legitimacy of her doctorate.
You can't find your dissertation online.
Mm-hmm.
How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it. For the folks.
First of all, I just want to pause. And she calls her followers the doc squad, and notice that she has a doc chain on. Now I'm pissed off because I have a doctor chain, but mine is legitimate. But anyway, let's keep going.
For a second, like, say something.
Have already made up their mind.
Yeah.
You said what? You said you were going to say something.
Oh, I was going to say, can I for a second say, we just spent a lot of time talking about how
you're freezing.
We do this to protect. That's again the division between what she's doing and what we. Computer got weird.
Was it me? Or was it you? Uh-oh. Can y'all hear me? I think Dr. Hall's thing is messing up. Uh-oh. Are you back? I won't keep playing.
I can hear you. Can you see me?
Well, now we
can.
It's Dr. H. They said it's you.
It's me.
Okay. Can you exit the thing and come all together and come back?
I will do that.
Okay.
My computer just went haywire.
Okay, I'm going to play her while you do that, okay? All right. Okay. Let me just keep playing her, and then we'll have him come back.
To not like me or not understand me. Listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit. Because I don't give a fuck about it. Now, to my doc squad, my fan base, my folks, my village, it's very simple. I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I
want to stop there because it was reported that she did not complete the program, that in fact she was kicked out because she plagiarized the first 3 chapters. And in most schools, the way that a lot of schools, I'm not saying most, in a lot of schools, usually your proposal defense, you're basically saying to your committee, I have this idea, I've been able to find this research, this is what I'm looking for, this is where I'm going to go. And you have to defend that before you even go, before they let you do the research. Excuse me. So it's usually an introduction, a bit of your literature review, a bit of your methodology, like this is how I'm going to go about doing this research. You have to defend that, and then they say okay, and once they approve that, then you become a candidate. So you go from a PhD student to a PhD candidate, right? And you've taken your comprehensive exams, you've defended your dissertation proposal. Now you're considered what's called ABD, all but dissertation. ABD is a really good status because a lot of people will do what we call master out, because you could just get your master's degree and just go home from there if you don't want to do the dissertation. So it's almost the same, right? I heard that she got kicked out of Argosy for plagiarizing her first 3 chapters, which was what you would do for that. So she didn't even get past her dissertation defense. So she didn't even make it to candidacy. Okay, that's what the streets are saying that she didn't even get to candidacy. So now she's sitting here saying she completed the program. If you completed the program, Completing the program means you wrote your dissertation was defended, your dissertation was published. Okay. Now, a few weeks ago, I went and looked, and her dissertation is nowhere to be found. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if you go to a school like Argosy that was shut down or not. If your dissertation was published, it still exists. It's somewhere. It's easy to find, right? You guys can go and look up my dissertation. It's very easy to find. I share it all the time. So she's already lying. But you guys know this show started because it's called political theater, because I watch people's body language and I watch how they talk. I'm telling you right now, this woman is lying through her teeth. And it's the kind of lie that she's convinced herself of. So that's a different kind of lie. She actually believes this. Okay, so we're going to keep going with that in mind.
Went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there.
Let's pause there. In order to be a professor at law school, you need at least a JD, I believe. Excuse me. Now, this is my understanding. Again, we're talking reputable schools. I can't speak for the other ones. You need to have a law degree of some sort. Let's just say that. You need to have a law degree of some sort. Cheyenne Bryant does not have a law degree. She was not going to be a professor at a law school. That's just not how this shit works, okay? Now, do they occasionally have lecturers that come in and, things like that? Sure they do. Dr. Hall, you're back? They occasionally have lecturers that come in. You got like that? Sure they do. You're playing me in the background. We can hear that.
I'm sorry, I was following the show. My apologies.
You do this all the time.
I know. I was following the show to see where I was. Like I got kicked out. My computer just went haywire. I got a white screen. Everything shut down on me. I had to restart.
Dr. Hall, we don't care. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So we're at the point where we're talking about her lying about applying, about how she was about to be a professor at law school. And I was just telling people that she's completely lying through her teeth. Also, these slow blinks. I'm glad that I actually caught this one because she does the eye closing a lot. Okay. She's lying through her teeth, but let's keep going.
And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing.
All of this, she's lying. She's lying.
And there was no school. I was like,
now, when Argosy shut down, and when any schools shut down, University of Arts shut down or whatever, students are notified. Students and alumni are notified.
Right.
So for her to say that she didn't know that Argosy was shut down and she only found out because she went online to try to get a transcript is complete nonsense. Before I start again, you were saying something else. Did you want to complete that thought? Do you remember what it was?
Yes, I remember what it was. Okay. The idea that she said, I want to explain this for my audience and for my fans. Like, as we just said, there are so many of these laws. They're laws on the book about how this job is done in mental health because they protect the public. They don't care about your fans. Who are they? If you're saying you are a therapist, a mental health practitioner, you have to protect the public and the field. So the idea that she's like, I'm only going to do this once to say it for my fans. What do you, ma'am? Who?
None of that matters. But again, she revealed the grift right there, right?
Right.
She's saying, I don't actually care about this other shit. This is for my fans who keep my pockets lined, who buy my books, who, send me money and all those kinds of things. I'm only saying this so that you can continue to do that. And the fact that she was cussing, I don't give a fuck. What are you doing?
What are we doing out here?
Now, I know that I cuss Dr. Hall, but I'm not going to sit up on a show like this and basically cuss people out. That's insane. Okay, let's keep going because it gets worse.
Like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years.
That's bullshit. Okay. There are certain places certain companies that have like almost a monopoly on this. Parchment being one of them.
Yes.
Okay. I just had to have my my transcripts sent for my new job. And they don't hold them just for 2 years. That's complete bullshit. There was a person online, another woman online I was reading. She said that she was one of the whistleblowers for Argosy. And she, back in like 2007 or something, she blew the whistle on them and their practices. And she said that she was still able to get her records. So she called out Cheyenne Bryant. She's like, no, you're lying. I'm one of the whistleblowers for Argosy. I can still go access my records now.
Once again, college is a business.
Mhm.
It is a business that provides accreditation for every business.
Yeah.
So they have to keep
Yes.
ongoing records going
I
back
was
to
past
like
my
the
2 years.
1800s.
Yeah.
So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid.
Whose financial aid are you contacting? Because if
If
the
the
school
school
is
is
shut
closed,
down,
Right.
there's no financial aid office for you to
financial aid office.
contact.
Yeah.
So when she's saying she contacted financial aid, what is she talking about?
Who could that even be?
Who could that be? Is she talking about FAFSA? Is
Right.
she talking about loan disbursements?
Right. The
That
government.
doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove that you finished anything. It
No,
proves
they
that you
just,
went.
sent money to a school.
That just sent money to a school don't mean that you finished. As much people
Right.
as many people are scammers. Like
That's
a
what
lot
just
of these people. So for people who don't know, one of the scams that people do, the financial, it's called the financial aid hustle. People will sign up for one of these degree mills that doesn't have any, real requirements to
No
get
vetting.
in.
Mhm.
They still qualify for federal financial aid. They'll
Mhm.
go apply for it. They only
Mhm.
have to be in school for a couple of weeks for the
Yeah.
financial aid to kick in. They get a refund, because the financial aid is more than what the cost of the school was. The school gets their portion, and then
Mhm.
the student gets the refund,
Yep.
and then they drop out. They stop going to class.
All right.
That's
Or they
and
never
they get the
replan
money.
income.
They just got
Yeah.
that free
Get a
loan
chunk.
from the
Yeah.
government. Well, not free loan, but it's a very
Right.
low interest rate loan,
Right.
right? The interest rate is what, like 3% maybe or something like
Yeah,
that. Or
5
6%.
now, but yeah.
It's short. Yeah, it's a
It
small,
was 2.5 when I was in undergrad.
but it's a small interest loan from the
Mhm.
government that you can
Mhm.
get. People do it all the time. Professors, we know, we
Mhm.
have those students that are there for a couple of weeks and then they disappear. Most
Because
of
they
it
got
is
the refund check.
because they got the refund check, right?
Yeah.
So that's a hustle. Okay.
Technically, that's why Argosy went under. They were getting the federal dollars
Mhm.
and not giving it to the students.
Uh-huh.
To the tune of millions of dollars.
Right.
So, yeah.
So all she can prove is that,
A federal loan disbursement might have happened. at
might
that
have
school,
happened. Yeah.
Which that's why they had to forgive the loans for all these people,
Yes,
because the
yeah.
federal government gave out money that never actually went to your education.
Yeah.
Because the school
Shows
closed.
that I paid for
Yeah.
a doctoral program
Mm.
along.
Now she said doctoral. Now people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about her because that's that's just how Black people talk." No, actually, I want to just point out that there again, economic disenfranchisement, educational disenfranchisement. A lot of our people don't know what these degrees are actually called.
Right.
So you'll hear people say, "I have my doctorate degree,"
Mhm.
and that's not how you say it. It's either
No.
a doctoral degree or
Yeah.
a doctorate.
Once again, as we were saying, the language is precise in higher education. You spend all of your time learning how to craft the language of your field. You learn how to speak academic, right? Like just like
Mhm.
living in France, you'll have to learn French. Living in Spain, you have to learn Spanish. To be in academia, they hammer it into you literally every day for hours how we talk.
Yeah.
And so you don't make mistakes like that because you've heard it millions of times.
Millions
by
of
the
times it's been
out there in
drilled
the world.
into you. If you went to a school that prepared you for a life
Right.
in academia or a
Right.
professional, life. But also, Dr. Hall, that you don't call yourself Dr. Rich Hall, PhD.
No.
It's either Rich Hall II, PhD, or Dr. Rich Hall.
Yes.
One of the first things that tips me off that people either went to a for-profit school or don't know much about higher education is that they will
put
put
both.
Dr. So-and-so's name and the PhD. And
Yeah.
so again, like these things again, and it's a
Mhm.
little thing, and people be like, "Oh, that's potential," but it's not though. It's
And
like this has been this uptick with like people with JDs saying, "Oh, we should be called doctors," and other JDs are like, "Shut the fuck up." A Juris
Yeah.
Doctor is the
Yeah.
equivalent of a master's degree. Like it really is. There are PhDs in law. There are doctors of law, right? It's like you're not a doctor of law, you know.
Right.
So you're not a doctor. You can become an esquire, right?
Hey.
like you can, you know, those kinds of things.
You have an honorific. Enjoy it.
Like you
But
have
gotta
an
do that other
honorific,
thing.
just use it. But I've been noticing, and I've only been seeing Black people do. Like, I hate to say that, but like that's who's doing it. It's like because they see other people getting doctors, they want to say, "Well, I'm a doctor too." No, you're not.
Once again, you want the prestige. That's what
You
we
want the
all like.
prestige. You want people to call you doctor because in our
Doctor
communities, doctor is, you know, respected
Comes
or
with
whatever.
respect.
All right, so let's keep going.
Go ahead.
Alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance.
She's lying.
We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university.
That's not true. That never happens. That is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
You look like you're about to lose it, Dr. Hall.
Because once again, when you close a college and you have to refund people, right? So the federal government does that. But also, if you've attained the accreditation at the time that they are accredited, they can't take that from you unless you mess up somehow. Like that's just not how the system works. Why? Because if that falls, all the other dominoes fall. So they got to sustain it, even at the expense of, like, we don't look good, but we got to let you walk out of here with that degree because
if that was
you
the case, this would happen for every school that closed.
Right.
What are you talking about?
All the
So
dominoes
she's sitting here straight up lying to people's faces, saying
because they don't know any better.
Because they don't know any better. Because they believe that she was a doctor just because she said so. They never bothered to look it up. I'm the kind of person that look up people's stuff.
At this institute. So do you want us to refund you?
Also, she's referring to Argosy as an institute. Did you pick up on that?
She is, yes.
Yeah, okay.
An institute that she's contacted the financial aid office of after it's closed, who is now offering her a refund after it's closed.
But only if she agrees to let go of the credits for the classes
that she might have taken before it closed. The story doesn't actually make sense if you know anything about college.
Because
she said,
I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money, and it wipes out your entire program.
That's not how it happens.
Luckily, I had, I do this with all of this.
Look at how much she's blinking, and she's starting to like stutter more.
Schools I had downloaded from the actual student portal, my transcripts.
What student portal? You can't download anything from the student portal if the school doesn't exist, because the school doesn't have a student portal anymore.
You can't get to the portal once you're no longer a student. Hey, the day after portal's closed to you.
Well, no. So Temple let me hold on for a minute, and then I actually went and applied because I was like, I still want this library access. How do I? I was like, I need some crumbs. Give me my research. But no, like you can't access things the same way. I can access now to get my transcript from there, but my school still exists.
Right.
Okay.
At that time. And I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up. Just in general.
They are going to kill you online this week. They're going to say she has no records. They just want to hate you regardless.
No, that's fine. And it's not even that there's no records that I don't. The school had a third party that carry the records only for a limit of 2 years. So it's not me, it's any student that attended Argosy. But again, it doesn't affect me, because if I chose to go get a license as an LMFT, I have my master's in marriage and child therapist. I have my hours. I can just take that and say, hey, let me submit these for licensure, and I want to go sit for my exam, and all I have to do is study. I don't need a doctorate in counseling psychology to go get licensed as a therapist. That's what we're all missing.
They say the reason that you don't get questioned or tested as much is
How you feeling? I want to show you something, Dr. Hall. Can I switch?
Go ahead. Show me something.
Guess what you can do?
Log into Parchment and get all of your credentials and
transcript
academic
from
records.
Argosy University.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, the school was closed down in 2019. It's 2026. It's 7 years later. If you went to Argosy, you can log in and go. And
once again, colleges have been around for hundreds of years. They have solved the problem of maintenance of records because it's required for the credibility that makes you in college. Like, what are we doing here? What are we talking about?
Of your quote unquote looks.
I said this last time I was on. You might be my alter ego brother, because some of the stuff you say is just right up the alley of what needs to be addressed. So there's pretty privilege, and I've learned that there's pretty punishment. And I didn't really understand that term until I got into my field. And I want to say this: I've been in my field for 18 years. I didn't get into this field to become famous, to become a celebrity. I got in this field because I was a little girl from the inner city who was tenacious and determined to make it out. And I had a lot of broken pieces and abandonment. And when God provided me tools that helped me take my broken pieces and make peace from it, go from my wilderness.
Okay, I'm sorry. How you lying on God's name?
Hey, I mean, hey, that grift's been around for millennia. So I mean, that's how we know.
You talk about in my book, Live Your Promise.
She plugged the book.
I thought, wait a minute, I got to make sure I get everybody I come in contact with these principles, because everyone deserves that freedom and that healing that I'm experiencing, what I call God's peace. All right. And so with that, people got a whiff of it. And, the fan base, the folks made me famous, made me a celebrity. I did not grow up and say, hey, I want to just listen. I'm a good looking woman. I've had access to the industry for my entire life. If I wanted to be famous, I would have went maybe the actress route or the modeling route.
Because you damn sure know how to lie.
She was on a reality TV show. You did go the actress
you
modeling
did
route.
Go that route.
What are you talking about?
What are we talking about?
We would not know you if it wasn't for the TV show.
So none of that. No one goes to college and gets multiple degrees to say, I want to be famous. Now,
wait. Silly.
No one?
People will go and get a bachelor in acting, MFA in acting. They want to they'll go to Juilliard, they'll go to Yale School of Drama because they want to be famous.
Right.
Do I love it here? Yeah, I love it. I'm grateful for it. I appreciate it. If folks would focus on, Doc, how did you create your own lane? I don't want to be you, but damn it, I want my own lane to occupy. I would give them the tools like I'm doing in my book, Live Your Promise.
Plug the book.
About how I did it. How I went from the hood to the hills. Was it hard? Yeah. Is it possible? Absolutely. Am I the only one that can do it? Hell no. The tools I use, if you apply it, you will get the same result.
Oh, just like God, that is such a grifter. You
gotta love the grift. You gotta love the grift.
That is such a grifter, like, script right there.
Yeah. Buy my book.
Oh my gosh. Probably self-published. But what folks are not saying, if she was worth her salt, other professionals would know her, right? And I'm gonna say that too. It came to mind, Jonathan Majors, right? Remember when all that stuff went down with him and nobody stood up for him?
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody came forward. Was like, nah, this is my friend, this is my homie. Even people that worked with him in films didn't come to his defense. And so that says something about you. Now, there's a lot of people that don't like me, and I really don't give a fuck, but there's even more people that love me. And I have a whole, like, literally decades of work and connections and things that I've done that people will be able to say, you know what, I vouch for her, or I rock with her, or she has done X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what this is about. Nobody knew who she was.
Nobody.
You know what? And somebody said, honest, is her primary audience men? Yes.
And women who want to attract men.
And women who want to be picked by those men. Yes. Okay, here we go.
Some people are like, well, how can she tell me about my marriage when she hasn't been married? Or how can she tell me about my family or my kids when she hasn't been through that? Even though you studied it and you got your degree in it. So what do you say to those people?
So you just gonna cook the whole interview, just gonna cook? All your questions gonna be,
because you know what? Because
just
I mean, to be said, like the fact that he's not answering great questions, but she keeps like blowing his balls up is also like, what are we doing here in this softball
But
interview.
circling back to the whole the whole qualifications thing, I just also wanted to share something.
Mm-hmm.
So a while back we were talking about Morris Brown, right? And how the current president was removed by the board unceremoniously. They did not follow the steps that they were supposed to. But because there was some shady stuff going on and accusations of sexual harassment and toxic environment and things like that. So at that time, I went to go look up, and learn more about the school and who works there. Also, I moderate a group that the president was in, and he was advertising. I remember they were advertising that they were hiring adjunct professors.
Yes.
And when they posted it, the salary was I think the lowest salary was $1,000 for a class. Now, anybody who has ever done adjunct knows that is absolutely insane to ask somebody to accept $1,000 to teach a college class, right?
Yeah.
But they were trying to push to almost get people to volunteer because Morris Brown has been trying to build back up, right? Now they've had issues with their accreditation and stuff in the past, and they're trying to do that. But I'm going to share this because I ended up kind of looking into this a bit, right? So this is their faculty list, right? This is a person who's the chair of the business school, Department of Business program. He's got a DBA from Argosy.
Oh.
Right. This is the chair of the music department.
Oh,
He's
no.
got a doctor of education from Liberty and music
no.
from Liberty University. Okay.
I hate to see it.
This is a good one. Matt Curry is a decent one. Oh, Marvin Brown is the chair of psychology. North Central is a for-profit school. Doctorate in counseling and psychology from Argosy right before he graduated, right?
Right before it closed.
Before it closed, yeah. I also looked into him, and his work is, you can see it here, adjunct physical ed instructor.
Oh.
Worked in schools, like high school science teacher.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he has none of the qualifications to be a department chair for psychology.
Hey.
Yeah. This sister went to Howard, so we'll let her cook.
Hey,
here we go.
Howard's psychology program is pretty good.
Yeah. University of Phoenix, another DBA from Argosy, right? But again, that HBCU to for-profit, right? This one's Western Governors, which is a self-led program, right? It's guys, it's not good.
I think it speaks to the fact that it's outside and inside. There are the people outside of academia who
St.
are
Leo is another one
saying they have credentials. There are people inside of academia who are coasting on credentials that are unfortunately subpar.
Yeah. Another one, Department of Education, Argosy. Right? Argosy was really targeting our people there. Like at that time, like a lot of people got caught up in that before it shut down. So, and here we go, Capella University. And again, I'm not like trying to put folks on blast, but your public information is out there, so it is what it is. This is not a place I would send my child to go to college. I'm sorry. Like, and these could be very nice people or whatever, but a lot of folks go to these for-profit schools and then are like, well, I can just go teach at an HBCU. What does that say about
how we think about HBCUs?
How we think about HBCUs and their rigor, right? But also, this is why people will, part of why people will perceive HBCUs as being less rigorous, which makes it difficult for HBCU grads to get into grad school because they're looking at the school and then they look at it's the same way they do with high schools. They look at the high school, they look at who teaches there, they look at, all these kinds of factors to determine whether or not what kind of quality school this was. I went to boarding school, for example. They could look at the boarding school that I went to, and if they saw that I got a B in a class, they knew that was an A+ at the
Any other school.
public school down the street, right?
Right.
So
right.
they could, a B for me is
Mhm.
whatever, they know that. The same thing happens with colleges and universities. And
Right.
so they're going to look at somebody who has a degree from Morris Brown
Mhm.
and they're going to question it when
Yeah.
like 40 to 50% of the faculty and the majority of the department chairs are people with degrees from fake schools who don't have any real academic experience.
Mhm.
And a lot of them are all in the same fraternity, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But this is not the only school where that's happening, right?
Mhm.
And so it's a problem, Dr. Hall. Like
Yeah.
people are like, oh, she's always hating on HBCUs. No, I'm not hating
No.
on HBCUs. I want them to be better. I would love to teach at one, but the ones that I would want to teach at, they want to hire all the white people. They want to hire,
No.
like, come on, okay, let's just do one more thing because I need to show folks this. Let's see, Howard. Let's look at this because this pissed me off too. Yeah, well, they're gonna have to just be pissed off. I don't give a shit. Howard's Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, right? All
Mhm.
these beautiful Black students.
Hey.
You can look in their faces. There's several are first generation or international students, right?
Mhm.
Okay, section menu. Let's see, people. Come on. All right. The department chair, Charles Kim, Asian man. Got a research scientist here, PhD. You got this guy, it's a PhD. PhD. Anderson's been there a month of Sundays. Anitia Andy. Jeremy Blackstone, there's one. Peter Bofa, Burge, Che, Fennel, Garuba.
Not American. Not a lot of American Black people.
Not of a lot of. First of all, finally we get a woman. She ain't Black. She's, Mina or Swan. I don't know what to say at this point, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
These are foreign people. These are foreign-born people, right? Not Black. Well, again, this is a full professor here. Dr. Liu is a full professor. Okay. Admin assistant is a sister. Okay, look at this.
Talked about Black people in administration. Yeah.
And then we have an Indian, I believe this is Indian. Rupa is Indian. PhD, she's a lecturer.
Eric
Finally, we have an associate, Gloria Washington. That's a sister. That's a Black one.
There we go.
But look how
also
far
we're talking engineering. Like engineering,
Yes.
Black women are very underrepresented.
Come on. I had to get all the way down here, right? Because her last name is Washington. But this is a problem. This is a problem. Well, one, we're not, pushing the whole STEM thing or whatever the situation is. All those pushing the race to the top, all that bullshit, Black Girls Code, all of that. None of that has translated into anything meaningful. Okay. I'm sorry, but sisters are not making inroads when it comes to STEM and getting to this level where they can go and be professors. Okay. So why would, and what is encouraging young Black women to go study at an HBCU, right? Because I want to do that. I want to go study electrical engineering or computer science. And all my professors are men. And at least half of them, or if not more, are not even, the majority of them were not African American.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's most engineering programs.
And then a lot of them are not Black. Right. I mean, that's across the board. Right. And then
American not engineers like we're
just not.
Yeah.
Okay. But then a lot of those folks, let's be honest, they went to Howard because other people wouldn't hire them. That's just the truth. Remember back when all the Jewish professors were at the HBCUs because American universities were discriminating against them and they couldn't get jobs either. So they came to teach at HBCUs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the HBCUs needed them because we were not producing enough Black folks with PhDs to be professors, right? Like, this is an ongoing thing. And it's like these conversations that people are having around this are really frustrating because it's just a reminder of how much we don't know and how
Yes.
ignorant we are and how removed our people have been from this
Mhm.
whole experience.
How separate we've been kept from this environment.
Cheyenne Bryant can get away with this
Mhm.
because there's hardly anyone to fact check her,
No
of her
one-
audience, I should say, to fact check her.
Well, she goes to these places where
Yeah.
they don't know anything about academia.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no one can check her on the type of things she says about
Yeah.
academia because they don't know.
Yeah. And you're called xenophobic for mentioning this. And, and I definitely, there's a tension there, right? I'm a Pan-Africanist. I love all my people, whatever. But I also, as an African-American in higher education, somebody who has stayed connected to my alma maters, I look at Penn, for example. I went to a ceremony in Penn for this honor society that I was in. It was like celebrating like some major anniversary. And I went, and there was only 2 African-American students that were being inducted. Everybody else was either West or East African or Caribbean, mostly Haitian. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with those students being there, but we care about African-American students, right? We know that affirmative action exists to repair the harms on the lives of those who are descendants of those who were in chattel slavery. That is a fact. We know that, our family, our cousins from other places are only here because of what African Americans did to make sure that they could expand and be able to come here. So we want people to come here. We want people to live their best lives. Right. But what the schools have been doing is they've been pushing out African Americans in favor of foreign-born and first-generation students.
Because they pay full freight.
Because the international students will pay the most. And then because we have, like I said, we have a new model minority, like the West African folks, the people that they were letting in, the doctors, the engineers, the scientists, and things like that. It's created a new thing. So again, a focus on going to become a doctor. You're going to become a lawyer. You're going to become a scientist. You're going to become an engineer, similar to what was happening with Asians, right? And so they're taking those students and saying, yeah, we'll take them because they're Black and we're filling our quota. But what about the African-American students who are clearly being left behind?
Yeah.
And then a lot of trust me, the first gen and foreign-born students are not going to HBCUs. They're not really going to state schools. They're going for the top tier, the elite 34. They're going to the Ivy League. They're going to those. They're primarily going to those schools because that is the best of the best of the best.
Right.
And so, yes, great. We should have that. They won't expand to welcome everybody. No. And it's like they take the approach of, well, we're only going to let 10 of you in. And we used to let in 9 African Americans and 1 of you, Nigerians. But now, since we see that you Nigerians are actually becoming doctors and engineers and scientists and all these things,
you make us look good.
Well, you make us look good. So we'll start taking more of you.
And you graduate.
And we're going to start taking more of you.
You fully matriculate.
And we're just going to take fewer African Americans instead of we're going to take more of you in addition. We're going to take 5 more of you and make it 15. They're saying, no, we're going to take 5 of you and then get rid of the African Americans.
0 sum.
And in doing so, we're going to pit you all against each other.
Yep.
We're going to create resentment because you're going to start to think that you're better than the African Americans, right? You're going to kind of perpetuate the African Americans. Well, if they were good enough, they would just do it, and they're lazy and they don't want to work hard. And our family, I'm from an African family. My family is never going to let me be anything other than a doctor or an engineer. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
But also,
right.
Then the African Americans are feeling away. It's like they're being displaced. They're like, when do we get reparations for what was done to our ancestors and what we continue to experience? You all got to go to these schools that were better and prepared you for this. We didn't. Our schools are still struggling. Our families are still hurting from from generations of devastation. And now we're seeing that, they filled their quota of Black students, but it's just not with us. So these are a lot of things that we're thinking about This is
Yeah.
stuff that's often on my mind, Dr. Hall, because we have to figure this out. But ultimately, this whole show we've been talking, yes, we were talking about Cheyenne Browning. We had other stuff to talk about, but I just felt like this was a good conversation to have because people have to understand the inner workings of these things and understand some of the nuances and the tensions and the things like that. It is not elitist for me to say that I'm against schools like Arcasy, Walden, Capella, Grand Canyon, Liberty, these schools that target our people, exploit our people, give them degrees that are essentially worthless.
Yeah.
I keep seeing people, and I have conversations when I have the energy and say, they're like, oh, I think I want to get a PhD. I'm like, what do you want to do with it?
Right.
Because you're online and you're so swayed by whatever the latest meme is, you got more and more people. Oh my God, do I want to get a PhD? Because everybody else is talking about it. I'm like, why do you want a PhD? First of all, do you know what PhD stands for? The number of people that don't even know what it stands for.
It stands for doctor, don't it? This means you're a doctor.
They don't know the difference between a PhD and an EdD or a DSW or a PsyD. They don't know these things.
It means you're in a doctoral program.
Yeah, they hear people talking about it and they want it. Yeah. And I'm like, so why do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Do you want to become a professor? Do you want to become a researcher? Do you want to work at a think tank like
or do you just want people to call you doctor?
Or do you just want people to call you doctor?
Yeah.
And,
so I struggled with that.
Yeah.
My first year after I graduated, it was very hard for me not to want to talk people out of it when they would say it to me. Like, I think about I'm thinking about being like you. And it's like, are you sure you want to do that to yourself? Because I tell all my graduate students, all my mentees and the like, if you're a graduate student and you spend every day thinking, did I make the right decision to do this to myself? And I think I want to quit, then you're doing graduate school right. It's there's a torture to that process, particularly if you're one of us, because the other side of that, when we talk about there being so many international students that are elevated and the white students passively believing that the only reason the black student is there is because of affirmative action, there's a lot of loneliness in academia. There's a lot of isolation. There's a lot of feeling.
Unless you go to a Black Studies program.
Yeah, unless you go to a Black Studies program. But those of us who are making it PWIs,
which everybody's been talking about, Dr. Hall. I'm like losing my mind right now. We don't even have 25 school programs that are conferring PhDs in African American studies, yet so many people want to say that this white guy who is the president of the Heritage Foundation got a PhD in African American studies. Y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. First of all, you're so goddamn ignorant. And yes, I'm going to rant. You're going to have to let me rant. Y'all are so goddamn ignorant. You don't even know that African American studies is its own discipline. You don't know that just because you are studying history and you happen to study black people, it does not fall into African American studies. You're just studying black people. You can go and get an English degree and write about Octavia Butler and Toni Morrison. That is not a PhD in African American studies. It is a PhD in English, and you just wrote about some niggas. This man went to the University of Texas at Austin, graduated in 2003. They didn't even have an Africana Studies department until 2010. So there's no way he could have gotten a PhD in African American studies. The man wrote his PhD. We talked about this last time. His PhD, he wrote about slavery in Louisiana.
Yeah, they love their
slaves. White people write about slavery all the fucking time, Dr. Hall.
They love the
most of what we know about American slavery is because white people went to school and got their PhDs in history studying it.
Yes.
So I am so fucking tired of people being ignorant about this shit. You know why they don't know that? Because they don't read the fucking history books about slavery to know who wrote them.
Yes.
Because they don't study their own history. Because they're content to be ignorant. Ask the average person what's the last book they read about American slavery and watch their fucking eyes glaze over. I can tell because I'm reading one now for fun. Because that's what I do. Because I'm a nerd. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, we have Franklin, we have Du Bois, we have these wonderful people that have written about it. We have black people that have done it. But the majority of what we know about slavery comes from white scholars. But now all of a sudden, everybody want to be all angry and indignant. Oh my God, why would a white person even want to study that? Because you won't.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
I mean, it is hard to do all this.
Y'all the ones raising your kids and telling them that African American studies is useless, it's worthless. A history degree ain't gonna do nothing. A women's studies degree ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all the ones telling your students that, your young people doing that. Y'all the ones who were too embarrassed to study it when you went to college. Y'all the ones who didn't want to do it. So if we're not doing it, then who the hell do we expect to do it, Dr. Hall? How are we supposed to know anything about this period in American history if you niggas won't even let your kids go and study it and be Black scholars who can provide a Black experience, the perspective on it?
Right.
How dare you? How dare you get mad? And then to say that he did it in order to write Project 2025 has got to be the dumbest shit I've read this week.
Well, and last week.
The man got the PhD in 2003, and it's 2026, and he's the president now. Y'all telling me 20 years ago, he's that 25 years ago. He's like, oh, well, I'm going to go get my PhD because one day I'm going to write the mandate for conservative leadership, and I need this degree to study these niggas so I can figure out how to write a plan. Are y'all dumb as what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Breathe, Dr. T. Breathe.
Okay. Because how stupid can you be to say something like that, Dr. Hall?
You really don't know. You say it because you don't know. But as we said at the very beginning, the internet has flattened out expertise so that everybody assumes they have an opinion, and by virtue of being able
even just saying some shit like that, Dr. Hall, can you imagine fixing your brain to think that?
It feels true. It feels true, so it must be true.
That this man went and did all the work to get a PhD, which you niggas don't know how hard it is.
We just said it's very difficult. You want to leave every day.
That he went and was like, I got a master plan. I got a master plan.
Yeah.
25 years ago, 28 years ago now. I got this plan. I'm gonna go get this PhD in African American studies that doesn't even exist at this school.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna study slavery.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, which is where I'm from, because I love Louisiana.
Down to his bones.
I'm gonna study it because one day I'm gonna help Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas believe this shit. And you sound so fucking stupid saying it. I don't care who thinks they catching a stray, you deserve it. Because it's dumb as shit. And I don't tolerate people being stupid.
You don't.
Nothing pisses me off more. It's like nails on a chalkboard or a fork against teeth. They are not like that. Not when you read the actual mandate, the handbook for conservative leadership. And the same reason why I keep referring to that, because y'all keep saying Project 2025, and the fucking book came out in 2023, and they've been working on it since 1981, but y'all don't know that shit either.
Nobody.
Because you don't study history. If you'd actually read it, and look at the authors of each of the chapters, you would see where they got their PhDs from. Harvard, Yale, there's mad JDs, Georgetown Law, Stanford.
Yeah.
UPenn, one went to Spelman. Like, all you have to do is actually look at it.
Represent.
But people rely on snippets from social media because that's all they can digest when it's right there. All the pages are right there on the PDF. You can go read it your damn self.
Can I get AI to summarize it?
But then you'd have to start picking apart all those people. Oh, are you going to say that so-and-so went to Georgetown to get their PhD just so they could come and write this? No, it doesn't work that way, right?
It doesn't
Oh,
work in-
never mind all the political science folks. Never mind all the folks that went to law school and studied the law, which this is a legislative legal issue that we're talking about here. Now you want to focus on him writing about slavery in a history PhD.
Yeah.
If anybody was nefarious, it was the people like Russ Vought, okay?
Hey.
Well-educated man, right?
Mhm.
It's people like him that went to law school so they could learn the law, so they could try to change the law. You all are talking about legislative changes from a nigga who got a history PhD.
Mm.
What the fuck are y'all talking about?
They don't know.
I keep saying it because he graduated in 2023 and 2003. So if the average one takes 5 years, right? 23 years ago plus 5 is 28, right? Like we're going, you know, 25 is in the middle between 23 and 28. That's how I worked out in my head. But this is what I'm saying. It's like people ran with this. Like it was the truth. Dr. Hall read his dissertation. We talked about it on the show last week.
We did. We covered
nothing in that dissertation. It screams hate.
No.
Nothing in his dissertation says I'm trying to punish these black people.
No.
At all.
No. I might like secretly believe on a biased level that like they deserve to be subjugated as a people, but I don't hate them.
But that's not here.
We love our slaves.
Right.
In Louisiana.
So it just bothers me. And again, people asking me like, somebody was like, okay, we're sorry. You're going to keep bringing it up. Yes, I'm going to keep bringing it up.
Because the lie comes up every day too.
Because the lie comes up every day. But also, this is my discipline.
You're going to defend your discipline.
I have walked on coals for this.
Let's just point out, if we could circle back around to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, right? When people disrespect your discipline that you did all that hard work for, you don't just say, well, I'm gonna only say this once. You will shout it from the rooftops like, hey, I earned this. So it's not just for the audience. It's not just for my doc fans, whatever they're called. Like, if you question what I do, I have the ability to defend it because I have defended it.
Yes. Yes. Our discipline, I asked a few weeks ago, I said, did anybody know that we have African-American research methods? They were like, no. Of course you don't know. Because you never cared to know.
Well, I mean, once again,
people don't care.
Academics are a big group. And as I said at the beginning of the show, most people don't do this level of research. Most people cannot nerd this hard.
But it's not, yes, that and people just don't have the intellectual curiosity.
No.
And because of the internalized, first of all, pervasive anti-Blackness, but also internalized anti-Blackness within our communities, don't want to learn about African-American studies or Africana studies or Africology, however, like we say Black studies to cover all of it.
How much money do you make if you study that?
And that's all people care about. Yeah. All they care about is how much money are you going to make, right? And that's because Black people have this, you know, this tie. They're not going to school for the knowledge. They're going to school for, you know, the ability to function well and succeed well in a capitalist society.
Yeah.
So then those of us that did go to school for knowledge and did go because we are passionate about learning these things, we get ridiculed.
Yeah.
When I went to Penn and one of my majors was African-American studies, my own dad was like, what are you going to do? Why are you going to this school with the, you know, why are you going to this school to just do that? And that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
But like, I knew, thankfully I had the fortitude and my mama said, study what you want to study, you know, like,
you got the support on one side. Yeah.
But a lot of students are facing that. They want to go and they want to study creative writing. They want to study these things. And their parents are like, no, I'm not paying for that. What are you doing?
Right.
And then when it comes to African-American studies, people be like, well, what's the point? Or like when people say, well, I don't need to major in it because I went to HBCU. You went to a HBCU with a bunch of ignorant niggas. What did you learn about being Black? You graduate and you still don't know that Sojourner Truth never said, ain't I a woman? You don't know that Martin Luther King's real name was Michael. All the 4 years at your HBCU, you ain't learned shit about your people. You don't know where Ebonics comes from.
I know it because I'm Black. I have the lived experience.
I don't need to study it because I went to an HBCU.
I have anecdotal experience.
I'm the expert in being black. You don't know shit.
Yeah.
You don't know shit about your people, but then you get mad
Mhm.
when white people know it. You get mad when white people are the ones constructing the narratives because they're the ones going to study it. You're
Right.
mad when you actually do pick up a history book and you don't like what it says because it was written by a white person or written by somebody who is not from us,
Mhm.
while you're discouraging people to not do that. Yes, I said my mama said a lot of people feel that HBCU is a waste. First of all,
Yeah.
only 1 out of 10 Black college students actually goes to an HBCU.
Mhm.
As soon as affirmative action, I mean, literally, as soon as affirmative action came through, what was 1974, Dr. Hall? They went from 90% of Black students going to HBCUs, dropped all the way down now to I think it's 10% of them. Yeah. Because when given the option, Black people are going to send their kids to other schools.
That ice is colder up there, though.
The white man's ice is colder, but also the PWIs have more money to give to people to go, and they have their own views about HBCUs. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But when it comes to Black studies, yes, I am fiercely protective because people shit on us. Black people shit on us. And I can't believe that folks spent the last couple of weeks complaining about a white man getting a history degree, studying slavery, and saying that he did it intentionally to eventually subjugate Black people. It is stupid. It is dumb. And I can't understand that. And just to make it up. And this one person, they got upset because I was talking about it. They were like, well, I had 21 sources and I did this research. And I was like, first of all, I've never even read your thing. I don't even know who you are. And I'm not trying to be an asshole, but a lot of people seem to think that I'm aware that they exist, and I'm not because I don't.
And
care.
I mean, 200,000 followers. You can't know.
But also, I don't care.
You don't care.
Most of the stuff that people are saying is really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then they
An
sent a link to it.
intellectual
I was like, well, I've never seen this, so I wasn't talking about it. And they were like, oh, okay. Well, I noticed that, they changed his information. You don't change a dissertation. What are you talking about?
As we just said, they
What
published
you really sat here and believe that they went and changed his dissertation information to change it from saying African American studies when no such department existed?
Yeah.
Dr. How, that's why I be at my house. That's why I be at my house.
That's why you ain't out there with the people.
This is why I'm on a lonely island with my volleyball, because I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't.
You can't with all these people.
I like talking to smart people. But you don't have to be super book educated, but you have to be intellectually and curious. You have to be somebody who thinks critically about things. You have to be the person to say, I'm not sure that makes sense. Or I have a question about that.
Yeah.
But we are in a time and an era in social media where people just accept things right in front. No second guess.
It's fascinating that we have access to so much human knowledge and history, and so few people know so little of it.
Yeah.
Like, how did we get here? 1990s me would have loved this much access to information, and I did not know that.
There's not a day that goes by where I take for granted that I can literally go on a machine
and look up
something that I'm curious about. My brain is always thinking about things. When I have my deep dives, sometimes I'll share them with people online, or I share with my Patreon, and I do my deep dives. It's because it's just some shit I was randomly thinking about, or I was watching TV or watching the news, and it just triggered something. It's like, I want to know more about this. Let me go and look it up. Let me go and research.
Right.
Not everybody is like that, Dr. Hall. I wish
they
we
were.
Yeah. But that's why I'm teaching research methods.
Yeah.
Just real quick before we go, because we've been here for a while, Dr. Hall. I just want to make sure
we're past the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, we are. I want to make sure people are aware, because you still can register.
Sign up for the class.
Although tomorrow's class might be a little bit late.
Support.
So I'm offering each class twice.
Hey.
I am doing research methods, which will include Afrocentric research methods. That is actually a 2-part joint. So the first one is going to be, I'm going to be talking to people about basic research methods that we all kind of learn in college or grad school or whatever, but also everyday research, right? Like, why am I able to pull up things so quickly here, Dr. Hawes? Because I know how to put in certain searches. I know how to look for things. I know how to gauge the integrity of a source and those kinds of things. So I'm going to teach people about that stuff. And that is the first class actually going to be tomorrow. So I'm teaching each one twice. So if you can't make the one tomorrow, I do have another one. I'll give you the dates in a second. The second part of the research methods is going to be looking at things like Afronography and other things, Afrocentric research methods. We're going to talk a little bit about Afrocentric research methodology and stuff like that, where it comes from, what it means and stuff like that, and how it can be used for those people that are kind of maybe in school or doing research or whatever, or just people who want to expand their mind. Doing a class on Afrocentricity. Dr. Hall, most people have no idea what Afrocentricity means. And that's just the truth. Yes, $25 is a bargain, and it is a suggested donation because all of that stuff that I do is pay what you can, but also because as I'm trying to make it through the summer, right? I was like, oh, what can I do to make some extra money? I can teach some classes. What I do. Teaching is what I do best, right? So Afrocentricity, I am going to tell people, I'm going to teach people what Afrocentricity is. I'm tired of people saying, oh, such is Afrocentric, when it's absolutely not Afrocentric. So we're going to go over that, and it's accessible. Your teens can come, your young people can come. If you want to bring them and have them sit in on it with you, that's fine. I'm also offering that on 2 different dates. So the first one is this Thursday, and then there's another one. I'll give you the dates in a second. Then Radical Black Thought. Oh my gosh. I was going to make this a multi-part series, but I'm actually pretty, my schedule is filling up, especially as I'm preparing for Sankofa. I'm preparing for Sankofa Summer School as well, which is going to be fantastic. But, you know, this is for me to put some money in my pocket. Radical Black Thought. There's been a whole lot of conversations online about Black leftists and what does leftism mean, Marxism and Black people and all stuff like that. So I am teaching a class on Black Radical Thought. We will be learning about radical philosophers from across the African diaspora. We'll be talking about their contributions to Black liberation. We are going to go beyond Frantz Fanon because I have to talk about Frantz Fanon, of course, because that is the Black male leftist, like God. But there are so many other people, right? You see the picture there of Assata Shakur, right? So we're going to be talking about radical Black thought, and so people can get exposed to some of our philosophers, so some of our thinkers. I did teach a class on social philosophers. That one is available, I believe, on YouTube. You can go and watch that in case you missed that. But radical Black thought, we're really going to kind of get into communists, leftists, Afrocentrists, all that kind of stuff. Okay, we'll get into that. Pan-Africanists, right? Sankara and Nkrumah, you know, things like that. So we'll be getting into that. I might even get into Haile Selassie. Hey, I'll bring in some Haile Selassie. I just thought about that. Why not? Okay, so if you go to my website, hold on, feministajones.com, get free. I'm going to pull it up because I feel like people need it, an explanation. All right, so if you go to my website, feministajones.com/get free. All right, it says, please read thoroughly. I'm getting questions from people who clearly did not read this. You don't want to come to a class of mine if you can't even just read this part. Dr. Hall is all I'm saying. The classes will be held via Zoom. I'm not going to be doing StreamYard because because the delay here doesn't really facilitate interaction. So we'll be doing it via Zoom. All the classes are held Eastern time. Each class is offered twice. I will not be adding extra classes to accommodate others. However, they will be recorded, and after a live session, you'll be able to download the recording. Each class is pay what you can, suggested donation of $25. You know, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Once you purchase, you will receive a download link with your class information. It should also come to your email, okay? Research method is 2 parts. You need to register for each one individually. Okay, so here's what you would do. If you want Afrocentricity and you want to pay the $25, you would click this one, add to cart, right? But if you want to learn a little bit more about what the class is about, you click it, and here it is. What is Afrocentricity? Okay, so the descriptions are there. And that's for May 14th. That is this Thursday. If you can't afford the $25, or if you want to pay more than $25, you would click this one, the one that says 0. Okay, pay what you can. You would add that to the cart. But if you click on it, it does give you instructions on how to do that. You can just send your donations to Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle, right? So if you want to send $5, if all you have is $1, you could just send it there. You just whatever you got. Nobody's clocking what you got. If you want to send $100 because you want
whatever
you can do, you just do that. But the reason why you would click this one is because you need to be able to get the download link and you need to be able to get the information. Okay. So you do that, it adds it to the cart. You can view the cart or you can add some more. Okay. So that's how it goes for each one. Okay. So each day for each class, you're going to see it. So there's one on May 14th. There's one on May 21st. That's Afrocentricity. You can take it this Thursday or you can take it next Thursday. Radical Black Thought. Is it Thursday? 21st, is that it? Anyway, Radical Black Thought on the 22nd. I don't even know what I'm teaching these classes. I'm just making this shit up as I go. Wait. Afrocentricity on the 21st. What is that? That's not a Wednesday. Is that Wednesday? What's today's date? Whatever. What are the dates?
Thursday. The 21st is a Thursday. 22nd is a Friday.
There we go. Yeah. So Radical Black Thought Part 1 is on the 22nd. If you can't make that one, we have another one on the 31st. Okay.
That's Sunday.
Yes, it's a Sunday. And there you go. So then the qualitative research methods, that's the first part. That's the one, that's the simple one or whatever. We got one on May 13th. We got one on May 17th. So you can choose one of those days. So you can do either of those, and then you can choose the second one can be either one. It's going to be same class twice. So say you want to do, I have to explain this because it's important. Say you want to do tomorrow, you want to come to qualitative research methods tomorrow, right? And then you want to do the second one, you want to do the Afrocentric one on the 20th. You could do that. Or maybe the 20th doesn't work and you want to do it on the 27th. Then you could do it on the 27th. Okay. So that's how that's set up. I'm trying to see, for some reason, I think that that was the issue on the flyer that I had posted on Threads. One of the dates was wrong. So I just want people to come here. That's why I'm showing the website here, because one of the dates was wrong. And I
read the water, Dr. T.
This shit has been shared hundreds of times. I'm not doing it. So yeah, that's all you would do. You just go, you add it to the cart, right? Pay what you can. You want to view the cart. You guys can check out, and then you put your email, whatever, your review, and it'll give you things. See, it's 0000. And then you just go and it'll give you the download link. And that's so awesome. You've been doing Dr. Asante's thing. We're actually having the Global Afrocentricity Conference this weekend in Philadelphia. And he told me I was moderating something. I don't even know what I'm moderating. It's just that when Dr. Asante tells you to do something, you kind of just do it.
Yep. No, that's what mine is.
Like, I don't.
The lady who got me into graduate school, whatever she says, I'm doing.
Like, it's just, this is father of Afro, Afrocentricity. You kind of just do what the hell he says.
Right.
Appreciate him while he's still here. So,
right.
What did he say? Here's a copy of I told Professor Tenenbaum that you were the best of the best. Oh, thank you, Dr. Asante. And then he gave me the program, but he still didn't tell me what I'm moderating. But you know what? You just kind of show up.
Yeah, you just go show up and do your thing.
Black
you
Studies.
know how to freestyle. You can freestyle with the best.
You've been to National Council of Black Studies conference. You know it's a big old family reunion. No, we just make shit up as we go along. But I hope that you all do come. Register for the classes. I hope that you do support me, because it does help me make it until I start my job in August.
Get us to August.
And if you miss these classes with me, that's okay. Sankofa Summer School is coming. Registration for that will begin on Juneteenth. Those classes will run from the 3rd week of July through the 1st week of August. We've got some really good stuff this year, Dr. Ha. I've got more people from the diaspora. I've got an Afro-Brazilian talking about fashion. I've got I believe she's Ghanaian or Nigerian, and she's from Britain, but she's like Muslim. She's gonna be talking about Islam and Africans. We got a lot of good stuff going on. I'm very excited about it. We got a class on Asada and her liberators. Like Sankofa Summer School this year is going to be off the chain. So you guys can come out and do that later this summer as well. Get that knowledge as well. It's the same kind of thing. My classes will be recorded, and they will be available for download. So after I'm done, you'll be able to go to the website and download them if you can't participate live. But I do encourage you try to come live just because of the interactive component. I want us to kind of build that kind of community as we are learning. Because if it was just a lecture, I would just record it and then post it. So there's something about kind of being in that space.
It's about the community.
Yeah. So Dr. Hall, we're on 2.5 hours. We need to go.
We are on 2.5 hours today.
I'm sorry. And I know you need to get home. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to keep you so very late. I appreciate you. No, we were nerding out. I had to have my moment. I had to rant. I had to let that shit go because, oh my gosh. I got to go feed my cats too before they destroy my house.
Try to murder you. Yeah.
All right, y'all. I appreciate all of you for rocking with me, rocking with us. Make sure you let people know about what we're doing over here. We will get back to politics. The last few weeks, we've been just talking about stuff going on in our spaces, but we will be getting back to politics. We had a whole docket, Dr. Hall.
Yeah, we did not get through most of the docket. We did one docket item today.
Cheyenne Bryant.
Well, education.
Education, no.
Yeah.
But that stuff is fun. All right. So, y'all, thank you, Dr. Hall. I really appreciate you. And you're the best. And I value you so much. Guys, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not Black people should leave the South, especially when we were talking about the voting rights stuff. And a lot of people are like, no, I shouldn't have to leave the South, and all of that. And I understand all of that. I really do. But climate change is the real issue. That's what we need to be thinking about. Huge parts of the United States are going to be uninhabitable. And so I'm thinking about Black people being left behind in those ways. I'm thinking about Black people being trapped in certain spaces and not being able to get out. So my perspective on that is a bit different. I was going to talk a little bit more about the VRA stuff, but I don't want to get into that. I want you all to start thinking beyond the confines of this empire. Some of you are still stuck in trying to function within the confines of this empire. This is a corrupt empire. This is a nation that should not exist. We are on stolen land. This is a nation built on genocide and enslavement, torture, murder, and rape. This is an economy built on free labor stolen from millions of Africans and their descendants. This is not a nation that should continue to exist in the way that it has. We can talk about voting rights all day long, but as long as the Electoral College still exists, none of it matters. We have to start thinking beyond these things. We have to start thinking and being liberation minded. And being liberation minded means imagining ourselves outside of this empire, imagining what is beyond the empire collapsing, because it is collapsing. And I need you to recognize that. The economy is done. Donald Trump, like he has done with everything in his entire career, has destroyed the American economy. He has alienated us from all of our allies. He started a war, said he wouldn't start. You can barely afford groceries and gas at the same time. Housing costs are through the roof. There's hundreds of thousands of more sellers than there are buyers. Nobody can afford to move. People can barely afford to live. Why are you trying to hold on to this empire? Why are you fighting so hard to cast a vote for an empire that functions like this? Black faces in high spaces, remember what the sister said, that none of that shit matters. Climate change is going to be the end of us. So what are we doing now in our communities? How are we preparing ourselves and our children and our grandchildren for the inevitable things that are going to happen. We have to stop thinking about this empire in this way. We have to take an Afrofuturist approach and imagine what's on the other side. I love you all. I really do. Even those of you who are obsessed with me and talk about me every fucking day. I live rent-free in your head, but I love you anyway. I love you for recognizing that someone that great should be on your mind. I love you all with the love of liberation. I love you all with the love of our ancestors. I love you all with the passion that I have to come up here even when I'm exhausted and still try to make things happen for us. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win, but my winning is not limited to this empire. I do not consider voting rights a win in a corrupt empire when all we're doing is voting for people to continue to be corrupt. Until next time, take care of yourselves, love each other, and stay focused on liberation.